You know, if you were fighting nowadays, Tone, I would have paid you 5 times what you got for that fight that night.
Don't want. Well, that means
He might come out retirement.
He's already asked for Andy Ruiz. He called me last week and said, "Give me Andy Ruiz."
Are you serious?
Take
it.
You shouldn't tell him.
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Sky's the limit, baby.
BoxingVoice.com.
We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
You don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
¡Viva México!
Canelo wants to unify all the titles.
When did you realize, Andy, that you could take his power?
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am. I got that Mexican blood in me, so talking about the Mexican style, I just proved it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the Boxing Voice.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another glorious Monday morning. Thank God it's Monday. We woke up after a good weekend. We are back to continue to talk some boxing. And, man, look, Andy Ruiz is rumored to be joining the Canelo team. And like Canelo, he's starting to look like the king of options. Andy Ruiz has yet another fight that has manifested itself. And once again, it's Eddie Hearn bringing it to the table. And I'm talking about Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Tony Bellew. I know, left field. But I like it. I like it a lot. A.K. Jim Carrey. But listen, we're going to get out to our co-host and we can get this thing started. We want to see your opinion. What do you think about Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Tony Bellew? Do you like it? Do you not? You know the number to call in if you want to voice your opinion. 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget to add Nestor Gibbs on Skype if you're part of the Daily Show conversation. Holler at us.
It's me, Mario.
What is up? What is up? Monday morning, which means that we are always live in the morning talking boxing, but Monday's also Untitled. So if you're Patreon, definitely join us. Excuse me, tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern for Untitled, where we talk about everything, not boxing. Sometimes we talk a little boxing, but mostly other stuff. But yeah, this is definitely out of nowhere. And, you know, I don't know if today, you know, everyone thinks I agree with Ness or if everyone thinks that I argue too much with Ness, but I agree with Ness. So I guess I'm going on that side. That's what for the week they're going to tell me. This is awesome. And it's awesome for a bunch of reasons that I'm going to break down, but I'm not going to do that before we head out to my man Doomy.
You're going to agree with Ness because you're biased, Mexican bias. Anything Andy wants to do, you're cool with it.
I'm the most brutal, most vicious, and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match.
Good morning. Get your cup of coffee. If you're across the way, get your cup of tea. Because we about to talk about this suicide mission. I disagree with both of you. Damn. Y'all trying to have Tony Bellew's early funeral, man. He come back, fight Andy Ruiz, bro. He's going to kill him. I'll be wearing black that day. That's joking. Hell no. Hell no, he would have come back. Fantasy? Yeah, maybe Bellew when he was in his, good days. But, Cash, man, chime in on this.
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to say I saw fight too.
Stay focused, stay working my dad.
I saw fight too.
Boxing Voice.
Because if he comes to fight, then I'm going to have to look for him.
I saw fight too.
I think you accurate.
Yes. Good morning. I'm just
like, Doomy, I disagree, man. His mind is not there, Bellew, that is. And it is like, two dudes trying to gas him up. Like, yeah, get in there for Andy Ruiz. Let's get the money, man. You get 2 times the show you ever got. So let's talk about it, man. A sacrificial lamb? Is that disrespect?
I like it. I like the angle y'all going with, man. Let it be. Listen, we not Tony Bellew friends over here. That's for his promoter, his wife, and his fans. I put in the title, Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Tony Bellew. Little thinking emoji. Let's think about it. But I also put perfect UK pay-per-view tune-up fight for Ruiz Jr. See, Ruiz is the one that's become an overnight success. $5 million offers, or should I say $4 million? Thank Dillian for exposing himself. But 4, 5, Tony Bellew, Dillian White, AJ, Wilder, Kovnacki, like the options are endless. Now he's connected to Reynoso. Take your time, do things right. Get with Reynoso. Get this UK pay-per-view. You want that AJ rematch. How do you do that? Keep building your UK brand. You already big over here. This is where you're big, is in the US. No other fighter other than the toppity-tip top comes close to his popularity. And that's why everyone is calling him out. Everyone. And I hear what you're saying about the audio and how Tony Bellew sounded today. This afternoon in the UK. But when he called Eddie, how did he sound on that private conversation? And again, for Ruiz, you get American rights by Dazn check. You get that Sky Sports pay-per-view UK check. And let me remind you guys, Tony Bellew versus David Haye did 890,000 pay-per-view homes in the UK. That's almost 1 million for a guy you knew started at 168, for a guy you knew wasn't a heavyweight. But guess what? This guy still holds 2 wins over heavyweight David Haye. And for Ruiz, perfect tune-up. No risk in the Tony Bellew fight, and all reward in the Tony Bellew fight. For
he fought Bambi leg David Haye. I can only give him so much credit, and it's like I could see him like maybe lasting like 2 or 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying?
But Doomy, I put the word tune-up there. I'm not saying that he's here to get a world title.
All right, tune-up. All right, but damn.
This is an expensive tune-up for Andy. This is a power business move. Yes.
So in the UK, it happens in the UK then.
Absolutely.
That's the only way he gets,
If you want, listen, Eddie didn't say where. Obviously, DAZN is invested in the United States. They may want it in the United States because of how popular Andy is. But I'm saying financially, go to the UK so you get the DAZN USA check and you get the Sky Sports pay-per-view check if you're Andy. That's why I'm saying go to the UK. Because Bellew did 890, and guess who loves a comeback story? We all do. It's been 2 years he's been out the ring. We all love a comeback story, and guess what else? Who loves a comeback story more than us? UK fans. They will buy anything up. Go through the comment section. Before I get to those comments, let me get back to the audio.
If you were fighting nowadays, Tone, I would have paid you 5 times what you got for that fight that night.
Don't worry. Well, that means
he might come my retirement.
He's already asked for Andy Ruiz. He called me last week and said, give me Andy Ruiz.
Are you serious?
You shouldn't tell everyone because that's just me mind.
That's going to be the new headline. Bellew wants Ruiz.
You should take it.
Looking like John Ruiz with.
He's saying you should take it, Derek Chisora. This is another heavyweight. This is his friend.
Can I chime in after that thought that you have?
Yo, it's just so gassing the buck.
Before you say something I might want to say, and then you say it, and I got to stay quiet for the rest of the evening, because this topic is kind of not that hot. But let's think about it. He beat David Haye, right? I just Googled it. David Haye was 220 pounds. Andy Ruiz, 283 pounds.
Who looked better? Who looked better?
Anthony Bellew, however you say his name.
Tony Bellew.
Bellew. He was 210.
Okay.
So
Wilder was 209 versus Fury.
It's a cash out. No. Look, to me, it's a cash out.
It is.
Considering all those factors, So how excited do we get about it?
Dude, this ain't for us. This is for Andy, his loyal following, and for the UK fans. This is a tune-up. Look, guys, you guys as boxing fans, y'all don't even want to look at tune-ups. We talked about more recently tuning up with Earl. That shit. Oh, Earl better not. He should get somebody. So, okay, cool. Take it off American TV. You ain't got to watch it. We going to the UK with this one. And for Andy and his team, it's a guaranteed win, low risk, high reward.
Now knowing that angle, right? Is it going to be competitive? And how excited do you get if it's a first round knockout? I mean, look, damn, Andy, you could knock out anybody in the heavyweight. Now you back.
Well, I mean, we're not gonna get super excited because in that matter, we're not gonna be like, oh, he the man because he did that. Because obviously he gonna be the bigger puncher and all that. But I'm starting to like this a little bit more now that I got, I'm letting it marinate in my head right now. Tony Bellew's picking him for a reason, right? And I think that one of those reasons might be because of Andy's stature. You know what I'm saying? He's not the biggest heavyweight.
Obviously.
You know what I'm saying? And, we've always known Tony Bellew to have nice reach and be able to box on the back foot. So maybe Tony Bellew said, I could box the ears off this kid. You know what I'm saying? Something's got to be there, tickling Tony Bellew's ear, you know what I'm saying, in order for him to feel the way he's feeling.
Listen, Bellew is a guy that is strategic. I'm confident Andy wins. That's why I've said low risk, high reward, things like that. UK fans may believe in Bellew. He holds 2 wins over David Haye. It's been 2 years, so he's had time to recover from the Usyk knockout. Before being knocked out to Usyk, he was doing very well. People were shocked how many punches he was landing on Usyk. Maybe he feels he rushed. He should have never came back down from heavyweight to cruiserweight to fight Usyk. But just so you see his mindset, this isn't no cash out. He really believes he can beat a guy like Andy. I know, Ricky, give me one more. He really believes he can beat a guy like Andy because if you remember, Tony Bellew challenged Tyson Fury. It's all over social media. He thought he could get Tyson Fury. And at one point, Tyson Fury even entertained it because he didn't understand, and I'm going to screen share now with everyone. He didn't even understand, like, bro, what is it that you see? Right? So what does he says here? He says, Tyson Fury says, oops, all right, let me zoom out a little. Okay. He says, what makes you think you can beat me? Seriously, as I am intrigued. Sensible conversation. Is it my time out of the ring or my weight? Bellew says, seriously, a bit of both. Add the fact that you're not a puncher and you've also never boxed anyone who can make you miss for fun. All jokes aside, Cunningham dropped you flat on your back when you was 100% on it. I hit harder than him, so what can I do? Styles make fights, lad. And this is to Tyson Fury in 2017 December. You know what I'm saying? He thought he had a shot. Just like he thought he had a shot versus Wilder until they met and he changed his mind. But he has the mind and heart of a fighter. And let me add this other little fact for you, because I know a lot of guys are like, Tony Bellew, oh, they're breezing by this. No, he's 6'3". Andy is a fake 6 feet tall. Bellew is 6'3". Just saying, guys. I don't know.
All right.
He said lad.
I'm going to say, I'm not going to repeat what Doomy said and use the word marinate, but I do one thing like the fight because of Bellew saying, give me Andy Ruiz privately, right? So I like it for that, just to see what Andy Ruiz has now. That's the only reason why I would watch the fight. But if he knocks him out, I'm not going to be like, damn, Andy Ruiz got it. If he goes 12, then I'll say, oh, shit, Andy Ruiz boxed well against a boxer. It'll be something like that to measure Andy Ruiz for me in my eyes. That fight is that fast.
Well, Cash, what do you think about? My bad. Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead.
What do you think about Tony Bellew? You got to, in order for you to measure that out, you got to tell me how do you feel about Tony Bellew as a fighter?
All right, I was about to get into that. I'm an American. I didn't see the David Hayes fight with Bellew. And where I discovered Bellew, and I knew he was a fighter, was on Creed.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like is Creed part of the sales pitch to the casual fans?
I mean,
it definitely could be. It's definitely a part of the aspect. Ness, did we play the full clip?
Not entirely. Give me a second
Okay.
here. I'll play it right now. I got it pulled up.
Okay. I'll go after that. So, because just so we can hear everything.
You know, if you were fighting nowadays, Tone, I would have paid you 5 times what you got for that fight that night.
Don't worry. Well, that means
he might come my retirement.
He's already asked for Andy Ruiz. He called me last week and said, "Give me Andy Ruiz."
Are you serious?
Take it. You shouldn't tell everyone because that's just me mind.
That's going to be the new headline. Bellew wants Ruiz.
You should
I
take
was
it.
looking like John Ruiz with that mustache the way I was going on. So I thought John Ruiz versus Andy Ruiz. I thought it was a good idea.
Listen, let me tell you something. You know what? Yeah, I think if you come back for one little quick show, you will do amazing. You know you want to, so just, you know you want
Don't
to.
start
Listen,
that. I can't do it no more.
Mine is not there. I can't do it no more. That's the part
No. See, again, you're a casual, and that's cool. This is not disrespect to you. This is just highlighting it to our first-time listeners. Bellew made a promise to his wife. He retired telling his wife he wouldn't fight again. I believe I'm going with that. I'm running with that. The this I can't has to do with the wife. But every I can't changes with an extra 0. Like, why would you say you could right away when you could say you can't and get a little more money? Because right now, the people at Matchroom are seeing the traction. Like I said, if you watch this tweet of this clip from this podcast, it's got a lot of traction. It's got a lot of people saying, Bellew can do it. I'd watch the fight. Andy will win, but I'd watch the fight. Leave Bellew alone. He's retired, mate. But, it's no hate. So that's a pay-per-view, dude. And then coming off of COVID, you don't leave money on the table if you're Eddie Hearn. For Andy, again, this is the best fight. Why? Because Bellew is lighter on his feet. He's going to be moving. So Andy has to be in tip-top shape with Reynoso. I'm speaking it into existence about Reynoso. We know it's not official, but Andy would be damn dumb if he didn't go that route. That being said, he's got to get in tip-top shape to catch up with Bellew. I think it's a decent fight, man. Again, especially if we're thinking tune-up. I'll give you a comparison. Andy just had a tune-up before he fought AJ. What's his name, casual?
I don't know. You want
Alexander Dimitrenko.
Look at that. I was gonna go to Doomy next for sure. I didn't think you knew, champ. Shout out to you.
You mentioned the last show. You threw that in there. You said Dimitrenko was that type of
and that's what I'm saying. Dimitrenko never won titles at cruiserweight.
He's a solid guy. Dimitrenko.
But he never won. He never won titles at cruiserweight. He never been in the ring with Adonis Stevens. He never been in the ring with Usyk. He never been in. He's not Tony Bellew's level. So if you could tune up with Dimitrenko, that ain't gonna do nothing for your profile or your wallet. It ain't doing nothing for your wallet, Dimitrenko. It ain't doing nothing for your profile. You might as well fight Bellew. Again, when you call in to shit on this fight, shit on the fight because you know it's not competitive. Like I know it's not competitive. But again, Tony Bellew can surprise us.
I like. Go ahead, man.
Look, he could have went the route that we were talking about yesterday. You know what I mean? Those offers are on the table. And by the way, those offers are going to be on the table against the Luis Ortizes of the world, against the Whites of the world. But we had to preface all this by saying that's what we were talking about. Is this being a pay-per-view type of tune-up fight? It gauges Andy's magnitude. It gauges where he's at economically right now. It gives you a lot of things. We talked to Adrian Clark the other day on Saturday, right? It was a great interview. If you haven't checked it out, go back on Patreon and check it out. 4-hour interview. It was just amazing. And in there, he admitted that he was in front of Steven Jackson, NFL running back, longtime player in the NFL, and he wanted to be business partners. He came up with him pitch. He didn't have any business proposal for this guy. He just threw a number out there. He said, "I'll take 150,000." Randomly. He had no metrics. He had no data. He had no risk analysis. You have to have that stuff. And these are the type of fights where you can gain that risk analysis. You can gain how much somebody's worth in the market. With AJ, you give it the A and the B side, but this is a situation where, we could see how popular Andy Ruiz is with a Tony Bellew, who is definitely popular in the UK, but let's be real, in the US, it's really not that big a deal. So for the fight to happen on DAZN, we're already paying for it. It's a fight we're going to get. We know that it's going to lead up to something bigger, something better. This is the type of fight that he needs. It's, to me, we always talk about checking boxes. This checks a lot of boxes.
How much money though? Like, I'm Andy Ruiz, and I'm like, yo, I got a trajectory. I'm trying to go for the big fights. I'm trying to stay in title contention, and this is sort of like a sidestep, kind of like fight. Like, what? How much money is Andy gonna take? For him to be like
$5 million? Nah. They offered him. Listen. He's gonna have to $5 million. He's gonna have to negotiate, because remember, if you go to the fake email, it says this is a new offer. So we could assume they started at 2. Andy turned it down. They came back to 4. Andy turned it down. Dillian Whyte went to Povetkin, called out Andy. Eddie Hearn showed the truth. They never offered 5, but guess what? If he's saying 5, we'll take 5. We'll give him 5. That's what happened yesterday. That being said, Tony Bellew made 2.8 million pounds. That translates to about 3.4 million. If we're assuming, because I didn't hear the full podcast, disclaimer, I did not hear the full podcast. I don't know if Hearn is saying he's, we could have give you 3 times the amount that you made versus Hay. I'm assuming, because that's his best fight, his biggest fight. That's the fight that made his career. Like, he's able to retire because he beat Hay twice. Like, and then I don't mean that financially. I mean that from a legacy standpoint. Like, you beat a unified cruiserweight champ and a heavyweight champ. And you started at like 160, so you riding off into the sunset. This with Andy is just coming back to grab the bag. Eddie, play this in his ear. He just coming back to pick up this little bag. That's it. You can have David Caldwell.
Fat bag.
You can have David Caldwell throw the towel in. So I'm gonna say 2 million pay-per-view upside for Andy. If he can negotiate the 4, because let's be honest, Bellew is a bigger star than Dillian Whyte. You cannot find me a Dillian Whyte pay-per-view that did 890,000 in the UK. So if you're Andy and you're out, maybe you still do want that 5 that they all of a sudden ready to offer yesterday, because Bellew is a bigger star, and Matchroom and Sky Sports are gonna make more money on pay-per-views versus Andy and Bellew.
How do we sell this to the hardcores? You feel me? How do we sell it? How do we say to the hardcores?
Free tune-up.
This
what you mean?
is a solid fight.
It's a free tune-up. It's a free tune-up, and it's an American guaranteed getting a win over a UK dude. Simple.
It's a sold fight. You see 2 panelists, hardcores in my eyes, Mario and Nestor Gibbs, immediately wanted to fight. Like, I like it.
Because I always think business. I'm thinking pockets. I'm thinking popularity. We even said Terence. Not we. I always generalize as boxing fans have mentioned, like, oh, Terence, go fight Kell Brook over there to get more exposure. Well, if that's exposure for him, it's exposure for Andy. And Andy, if he keeps selling in the UK, it opens up the Tyson Fury option. It opens up that AJ rematch.
Hold up. Andy's going to automatically sell in the UK. He got the ultimate exposure when he fought Anthony Joshua and knocked him out.
And did records. No, they did records on pay-per-view. And he's broken pay-per-view records with AJ on the pay-per-view in the UK. So, again, Andy Bellew, Eddie's not saying he would give him 3 times. He said, if you fighting now, this day and age, I could pay you 3 times the amount, because he understands what type of a star Bellew is over there. And why is he a star? Why is he a star? Because he's a little guy that moved up, dared to be great, and was successful. The same story I preach every fucking... Make your own lane. He made his own lane.
And played the antagonist on Creed.
Yeah, that's the reason why
he played the antagonist. He played the antagonist to Deontay Wilder too. Like, for a very long time, he wanted to fight Wilder, It was a lot of social media, internet shit until they met each other.
He a good talker though, Ness.
Great talker.
So it's like you gotta wonder. Like, look, he said he was eyeing Tyson Fury, when Fury was coming back, and obviously for reasons that he thought were strategic. But like, come on, man. Like he talking about he wanted Wilder that he could take a. Sometimes I don't know. Maybe sometimes he just talks a little too much. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
I don't know.
Yo, oh my God! Shout out to Trenton Jones. He said this is only for a Dillian White build-up guarantee. What does that mean? That means you do him a 2-fight deal. Yo, take this 3 to 4, 5 million pay-per-view backside for Bellew, and then we do the fucking Dillian White.
Yo, that's what I had said last night, that it would have been the best idea for him to, if he wasn't going to take it at all, okay, that's one thing. But if he was somewhat interested in it, that could have been something that they negotiated where it was like, okay, I'm going to take this fight to get right, and then we'll have this fight in, October, August, November, whatever. Okay. But in this sense where it's like, I think Tony Bellew's the harder sell here. He didn't seem, I don't know what that phone call was like initially, like you said, but he didn't seem like super ready to go. I think the harder sell is going to be Tony Bellew. And if it is his wife or anything, convincing himself, the best part of this is like, look, I'm not fighting Wilder where it's, left hand hospital, right hand morgue. I'm not fighting AJ where this guy's going to tower over me and he's going to look like a monster and scare my children. I'm not fighting Fury, who's regarded as the #1 heavyweight in the world. No disrespect to Andy Ruiz, but he's a big little guy or a little big guy, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's a safer fight in that sense.
And you could roll the dice with Ruiz. It's like, we still got that option that he might don't take it serious, that he might don't come in shape, that he's probably still fat, that he's still eating pizza, that he's still those are all strategic gambles. Like, those are little boxes. Yo, but look, what if this is the first time he's with Reynoso? What if he don't like the diet? What if he cheats? All that matters.
Are you guys telling me that it's a lead up to the Dillian White? That means that he goes through Bellew, and then 3 months, 4 months, 5 months later, he fights Dillian White?
Listen, lead up in the sense that it would be another option, and it would make that Dillian White option even bigger. Now, I'll paint you a picture. For Ruiz, who's number 5 on the WBC, to fight Dillian White, who's number interim champion, that means next in line. Yeah, why not do it? Why not do it?
If he gets by these two, he'll be known as the UK killer.
Why not do it?
AJ Bellew and Dillian White on the...
That'd be crazy.
The UK killer.
See, Andy's number 5 in the WBC. Dillian White is interim champion. So, you fight Bellew, get your tune up, get the rust off. Because, look, he fought December 7th. We're in April. We're talking about 5 months out. No trainer. So, yeah, he could be working out. I see him doing ladders. I stalk him on social media. That don't mean you working with a trainer. That don't mean you working on technique. That don't mean you sparring 12, 15 rounds. It just don't mean that.
He keep in shape. He's keeping his weight slim.
That's it. That's all it
Man,
means.
Andy better come in shape. Like he don't got no type of he better not.
Andy better take this
that's
fight.
What intrigues me the most about the fight is to see if Andy comes with all those little boxes checked, and that's the only reason why I would watch it. If he goes 12, it's like, damn, Andy was supposed to really knock out Tony Bellew.
Yo, who's A side though? I don't know. I think
the destroyer, of course.
Andy's the A side, but they're gonna both get A side treatment because you gotta cater to Bellew, who's gonna bring in those pay-per-views. Like, because of Bellew, it's gonna be a pay-per-view, but because of Andy, it's gonna break whatever Bellew did with Hay. I think it does more. Andy had 2 fights with AJ. You want to capitalize on that. You want to, especially in the UK if you're Matchroom.
So what do we say if Bellew actually, hangs in there with Andy? Do we say AJ's kind of soft? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it could be possible that he hangs in there. He's done good with certain fighters, you know what I mean? But what's going to happen when he gets clipped? If he gets clipped.
Well, that's what worries me. If he hits Bellew the way he hit AJ,
my God. Yo, Brandon in Cincinnati said, I never believed in Fat Boy Ruiz. This is a 50-50 fight in my opinion. And you see what I'm saying, Casual? This is what I'm saying. This is the feelers that Matchroom need. They scouring the internet right now, checking all the comments like, okay, our guy actually has a shot. And it ain't going to cost us much. And people are deprived and thirsty right now. They're dying for the sport. Listen.
Yeah, if you start to look at Andy Ruiz when he lost to Joseph Parker and and you start looking at him in that light, I guess you could probably, have a star in the sky lit for Tony. But like at the end of the day, man, he gets clipped, bro. He's done. He's done. And you know how Andy's aggressive. I mean, he would have to be in good shape. I wonder what Bellew's been doing on his retirement time. You know what I'm saying? Has he been having
He didn't look bad the other day. I saw, because, I mean, I know obviously that FaceTime type of Skype thing was whatever. You couldn't see him very well, but he didn't look bad. Man, when was it? It was like some sort of event he was at, and, he wasn't wearing like the most revealing suit or whatever, but he didn't look bad.
Yeah, he didn't look fat in the face or anything like that.
I don't know. I guess a little bit ever since he had moved up to me, it always kind of gained that little bit of roundness, I guess. But, he definitely didn't look like he did in Creed, but,
He fought Alexander Usyk at 198.
He did,
He was cruiserweight status at that point, but that's 2 years ago or a year and a half ago or something like that.
He may be one of the guys whose weight doesn't go up, though. He may be one of those guys who has to like gain the weight and muscle or whatever it is.
Gentlemen, hate to interrupt. Spontaneous guest. I know you guys like getting the heads up, but me and Steve have been, trying to get this interview done in the back for a while. And he's available this morning, which is a perfect time because he was a former cruiserweight champion that moved up to the heavyweight division. And we are discussing a former cruiserweight champion that moved up to the heavyweight division and now could possibly be facing Andy Ruiz. Steve Cunningham, USS Cunningham. Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, folks. How y'all doing, man?
We're good, man. Listen, so obviously the UK is ahead of us in terms of time zone. Eddie Hearn came out today, released a little 40-second clip of him saying that Tony Bellew had contacted him last week saying, get me that Andy Ruiz fight. And I think it's a perfect fight for Andy Ruiz. I think it's exactly what he needs, a tune-up, but it's a big money tune-up. I think he can go to the UK and do this one on pay-per-view. He's already broke records with AJ in the UK on pay-per-view. Bellew's done 890,000 pay-per-views with, David Hay on pay-per-view. I love the fight, but I know hardcores are not going to like it because they feel like maybe, Bellew doesn't have anything left. What's your thoughts, champ?
That's an interesting fight, man. that's way more interesting than people would think. I mean, you gotta look at it. These are small guys fighting. They're big guys, heavyweights, but they're small. They're not the 6'5", huge, mega giant type guys. Man, there's gonna be punches flying. Andy Ruiz lets his hands go. Bellew, he boxes awesomely, man, and gets it done. I think, man, that's some good stuff right there, man. Like the only negative I see for Bellew is the layoff. You know what I mean? He's been out for a few years, and Andy Ruiz has been piping hot. Also, Andy Ruiz he's always been like a more active fighter in the ring because he's a smaller heavyweight. So Andy Ruiz, this is like cruiserweights fighting. I think Andy Ruiz gets this. I think he gets this. You also, and let's keep it real, man. Bellew, I don't see what you can look at in Andy Ruiz and be like, hey, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna beat him. Andy is a solid dude. He's a solid fighter. We see what Bellew has done. He's taken a page out of David Hayes' book. And, he started calling these guys out, man. And, for a big check, and that's what we do. We're prize fighters. We fight for the money. But I don't think, I don't think Bellew gets this one. I think Andy Ruiz gets this one, possibly a stoppage.
Steve, it's Alex here with you. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. Tony Bellew's always been a good talker, right? And for a time, he was calling out Tyson Fury. You faced Tyson Fury. And how serious do we take Tony Bellew's comments on the Andy fight? I mean, how serious did you take him when he was calling out Tyson Fury, and did you give him a shot?
You got to take this man serious, because he does, he did, like I said, he called out David Haye. It was it was a big show, in the calling out. It was great for boxing, entertaining, and he went out there and he performed. A guy, listen, was told to me by Brother Nazim years ago was, he says, man, B-Hop talks a lot of trash, this and that. He's like, but some guys need to talk that trash in order to get up. Versus he was comparing me to that type, because I didn't, you guys know, I wasn't the one to call people out or this and that, but I get in there and perform. He says some guys need to have their back up against the wall to perform, and I'm like, wow, so he said he kind of even said that about B-Hop a little bit, like B-Hop would talk so much trash to where he had to get in there and do what he said he was going to do to you. So I'll put Bellew in that situation, in that type of mindset, because he talks, and he got the fight with David Haye, and he showed improved. With Fury, I don't think he would have done any less. I don't think he would have beat Fury, but I don't think he would have got out there and not performed. Same thing with Andy Ruiz. He's going to perform. He's a champion. He knows how to do it and get right. But I just don't see him. I don't see him getting that victory. But we can, this is boxing, man. We've been surprised too.
Well, let me ask you this. So you're Andy Ruiz. You're Tony Bellew. You're looking at Andy Ruiz. Why do you think you can win? That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I mean, I understand from a fighter standpoint, a champion standpoint is, first. You look at a guy, you're a champion, like me. A lot of people question, oh man, you shouldn't have been in there with Fury. Why? That was the biggest challenge of the time, and that was before Fury was really hotly known. The champion in me said, hey, they think I'm a small heavyweight that can't contest against a Vladimir. If I beat this big guy, it's going to show them I can handle these big guys. I can handle Vladimir. So the challenge was there. The same thing with Bellew. He looked at Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz is a good fighter. He's very good. He beat Joshua. Stopped him. That's a challenge. That's a massive challenge. And, I think that's what he sees. I think he sees the challenge and that challenge will get him up, make him do what he needs to do to get right and get ready.
Hey, Steve, let me ask you, because, obviously you have, like Ness said, experience with the cruiserweight division and fighting in the heavyweight division. Do you feel like the current status of the heavyweight division, the super heavyweights as they call them, guys weighing in at 250, 260, do you feel like it's tougher now for cruiserweights to make that jump? And do you not give guys like Usyk a fair shot, not a fair shot, but enough of a shot to dethrone those guys based on that?
No, I think it's the cruiserweight that we have outside of Usyk, what do we have? Usyk, Gassiev, and possibly Bradis. They could make a good jump to heavyweight, because they're right there at the cusp of not being too short, but not big at all. But the average 6'2", 6'3", and we know those guys walk around probably at 215. So I think that's good for them. Cruiserweights moving to heavyweight. Usyk, I think Usyk, guys like Usyk, I think Usyk can challenge. Shoot, tell you, let's keep it real. If Usyk could avoid that Deontay Wilder right hand, he could outbox Wilder. Wilder could be outboxed. He can be outboxed. Who else could Usyk fight? Usyk fighting the Fury. I mean, really, a guy like Fury, his size and his boxing ability make him very difficult, to beat. Once he gets, and we've seen it with my fight, we've seen it with the Wilder fight. Once he gets into any little trouble, he's got other assets that he uses, and I don't want to, go into the cheap crap, the laying on. But hey, if the referee allows you to do it, get away with it, do it. This is a fight for life. It seems like in the ring. So, hey, I'd lean on you if that's going to help. So Fury has other facets abilities to use, man, and he does it, and he wins. So I don't know, man. I don't, like I said in my tweet, man. I'm not going against Fury, but Usyk. I think Usyk could beat Andy Ruiz. I think Usyk could beat a Wilder possibly. I think Usyk could possibly beat he could possibly beat Joshua. You know, Usyk is a very good skillful fighter, man.
Damn, Steve, why you had to say that, man?
That's our resident Usyk.
I just don't feel that dude could beat anybody in the heavyweight division, man. You come on. I know you know Chaz is your man. Y'all from like the same area. Like I'm sure you probably even sparred Chaz. You didn't expect him to get rid of Chaz Weatherspoon?
Nah, man. Nah, I mean, because you know Chaz hasn't been like active like that. You know what I'm saying? Chaz is you know what I mean, and a guy like Usyk, man, he's crafty, man. Like Usyk fought at heavyweight as an Olympian. You know, the size doesn't like. Okay, here it is. Here's my synopsis of the thing. I just told somebody the other day, me fighting at heavyweight, because they asked about fighting at heavyweight. I'm like, it was easier for an athletic guy, 6'3", 6'2", 205, 210 and under pounds, athletic, can box their butt off. Fighting bigger guys is easy. It was easier for me. I could see your punches coming because they were bigger and slower than what I was used to. I'm used to a faster, strong, sharp punch, you know, fighter, athlete. Cruiserweights are very fast and strong. Heavyweights, you get in there with heavyweights, man, I can sit in a pocket with a big guy and see that stuff coming and counter it and get out of there successfully. So Usyk is very dangerous to those big guys. I mean, look at Joshua. I don't know if the question has been asked, why did he lose to Andy Ruiz in all actuality? And I don't know if how true it is, but I heard he had Joey DeWaco in camp with him. Small, and I sparred Joey numerous times. So Joey he's like his nickname. He's a tank. He's small, but he's compacted and powerful. I heard he knocked Joshua out in camp. So obviously, if that's the truth, and we can see from the Andy Ruiz fight, Joshua has issues with smaller fighters. A lot of these big guys are not comfortable with fighting guys smaller than them. So then when you have a guy that's smaller, that has better boxing ability, and he's strong, just as strong, boom, you see what I did to Fury. You know, everybody didn't think I had power. But, man, it's like a sharp razor versus a broad sword. I'd rather have a sharp razor that'll cut you precisely 100 times than a broad sword that you swing could possibly miss.
So, do you think that Andy Ruiz is losing in the speed department if he was to face a Bellew, or do you think that Andy's the faster guy?
No, yeah, Andy's fast, man. Andy's got fast hands. Bellew's not a particularly, oh man, look at that speed. You know what I'm saying? He's not that guy, but he's not slow. But Andy Ruiz is exceptionally fast. But that's for heavyweights, though, you know, for him fighting those big guys. But we'll see, man. I think Andy and Bellew, that's going to be a very good match, man. I think it's going to be a good matchup. I completely do.
Now, Bellew called Eddie privately, like, let's say a week, 2 weeks ago. But on today's podcast, he said, you know, like, oh, my mind's not there. I can't. Now, I believe I remember him saying, when he retired, he was retiring because he told his wife no more. So I think it's the wife that he's got to convince. I don't think it's an issue of, like, the fighter wanting to fight. I think that's just something that's in you guys, right?
Yeah, indeed. But also, I mean, you got to look at a lot of things. You know, money and mugs like that fame. You know, like that fame is a drug, man. Fame in sports and anything, Hollywood, it's a drug. This is why you see a lot of fighters that come back, man. They're used to that way they've been treated. They're used to that prestige, that esteem, and it's a drug, man. It is a drug. So I don't know what his finances look like, but he made a lot of money with those 2 David Haye fights. I mean, a hell of a lot of money. I don't think he blew through that money, but shoot, I have the opportunity to make a few million or a million or whatever, just like that. Hey man, whatever, let's go. You know, win, lose, or draw, he makes that money. I don't think he's just getting in there to make money, but I'm just saying those things will motivate you to do some stuff.
Yo, Andy Ruiz is a pretty heavy guy. You know what I mean? He came in that last fight with AJ like 280, was it? And you know, there comes a time or a certain weight rather that you got to say, wait, that's a little too heavy. So it's like, where does Tony Bellew say like, hey man, you can't go past a certain weight because some of these guys are really big. And Tony's he's not you know, the heaviest he came in was with Hay at 224. So what weight do they decide this fight for him not to get like hurt?
Nah, it's got to be a heavyweight fight. What you mean?
I mean,
yeah, but you know, like, is there like
fight,
a weight stipulation, like, or is it gonna be super heavyweight?
No,
I mean,
this is heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Anything over 200 pounds. You know? I mean, like, I'm a prime example. You're talking to the right guy for this. I fought all my heavyweight bouts under 210. And I'm fighting. I fought Fury 269. I fought Nat Tuvacinia 270. You know, everybody else was 220 and above. So there is no super heavyweight division. You heavyweight is heavyweight. Anything over 200.
You think Bellew has the speed in terms of footwork, like to not allow an Andy Ruiz to just walk him down?
I think he does. He does. That's what I'm saying. This fight has the possibility to be very exciting, you know, while it lasts. But let's not get it twisted. I don't think Andy Ruiz is going to come in heavy. In all actuality, from all the flack that he got from coming in that heavy at the Joshua fight, and of course he's got something to prove. You know, now he's going to come in there in some nice shape. You know, probably we'll see him. I'm not saying we'll see him less than what he's ever been, but he's not going to be nowhere near no 280. You know, and Andy Ruiz, that dude's got good movement, man. His looks are very deceiving. You know, you look like you think you're seeing a pudgy dude. You know, who Andy can move, Andy can fight, Andy can box.
So, Steve, before we move on to you, because I got a ton of questions for you from the people specifically, I do want to ask about Andy and the possible union between Eddie Reynoso, the trainer of Canelo, Oscar Valdez, Ryan Garcia, Luis Nery, Jesus Martinez. Yeah, so what do you think of Eddie and Andy possibly teaming up? They both have already gone out in the media and said, yeah, I would love to work with him. I would love to be with him. So they obviously want to work with each other, just haven't made it official. What do you think? Does that make the difference in Andy?
That could. You know, I know from, you know, my personal experience, you know, when you're one place here with this guy, and you get to a point and it's like, damn, you just want a new look. You know what I'm saying? You want a new front. And it gives you that. I mean, you're not going from boxing on Earth to boxing on Mars, but you know, it's just a mental thing. All right, I'm with these people now. You know, so you got that extra thing. You know, I think it could be. I think it could be good. Could be great. I mean, because of Andy Ruiz, he has that former unified world champion under his belt now. So no matter where he goes, they're going to look. They're going to watch. He's going to get top spot. He's going to be considered one of the top. You know, because he beat one of the best heavyweights of this time. You know, and not just beat him, he stopped him. So, but he did lose the belt, and Joshua came back and got it. But still, Andy Ruiz, now he has that prestige under his belt. Now I was a heavyweight world champion. So yeah, I believe it's good because Eddie Hearn does a great job.
You faced Tyson Fury. You were the smaller guy. What chances you give Andy up against Tyson Fury, and does he have success against Tyson Fury's style of boxing?
I don't no, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Nah, because Fury is just his boxing ability and his conditioning. You know, one thing that I did after me and Fury fought was, you know, about 2 months later, I got a call and I went to training camp with him for 4 weeks. And we were out there, man, and I saw he really, his conditioning is top notch. I mean, top notch. So that's why he can change speeds, you know, change gears. I mean, you know, and so I don't see Andy Ruiz being able, just from the height, the size, and the boxing ability of Fury, then the conditioning, I don't see Andy Ruiz being able to mess with him. I mean, and then you got to look at, we all seen what Andy Ruiz is capable of doing. He stopped Anthony Joshua. So from a champion's perspective, if I'm gonna fight Andy Ruiz, I'm not getting in there fighting like Joshua fought. I'm gonna the first time I'm gonna box a bit like the second time, and we know Fury can set up them big shots, his movement, his speed. So I don't know. I don't see Andy Ruiz beating Fury at all.
What camp was that you were there for 4 weeks? What fight was kind of take place for Tyson Fury?
The fight that didn't happen when Fury was supposed to fight David Haye.
Oh.
So we got the call. Yeah, remember that. We got a call. And, you know, I was like, man, F out of here, because I was bitter, man. I was pissed after that fight. I mean, really, I think a week before that, we got the word from the New York State Athletic Commission, because we had filed a protest on, you know, the way he KO'd me, you know, being illegal, which was in the rules. So the way he did it was in the rules as to not to do, you know, use the forearm, this and that. That was illegal. So we thought we had a slam dunk, and the New York State Athletic Commission called us back and was like, nah, we didn't see nothing illegal. So I was pissed, man. But, you know, we were ready to move on. Then I get this call a week later. And they're like, we want you in camp. You know, you're the best sparring we could get for David Haye because of size and speed. And we want you to throw that overhand right on it. So I was like, F out of here. You know, I was like, get out of here. But Brother Nazim was like, hold up. He was like, hold up, man. See how much money they willing to pay for it. So, you know, my wife, who's my manager, was like, basically asking for $5,000 a week. And they was like, all right, cool. Shit. I was like, well, damn, I ain't mad no more.
That's pretty good, man.
So
$1,000 a day. Damn, champ.
Yeah,
yo, I'm used to hearing $1,000 a week.
Dude, I made $20,000 in 4 weeks. I was in Belgium with them for 4 weeks, and you know, and the deal we set up was I sparred with Higgy Fury also, you know, because Higgy was there, Tyson was there, Dillian White was there also. Who else? We had a few guys. So at that time, I did what was called my European tour, sparring tour, because I sparred with Fury.
Wait,
and then I went.
Wait, champ. You said Dillian White was in the camp?
Yeah, Dillian White was sparring with. Yeah, he was part of the camp also.
Wait. So is this the infamous Dillian White drops Tyson Fury that, you know, Dillian keeps boasting about? He's been putting this on social media for years that he dropped Tyson Fury like 3 times.
No, I haven't. That wasn't the camp. I don't think that was the camp, because I didn't see it unless it happened before I got there. But I was there to camp's end. You know, when the fight got called off. I mean, no, after camp was over, then the fight got called off like a week later, and I was really gutted for Fury, because I was like, damn, we worked hard. We worked our asses off in that camp. And but no, Dillian White, he didn't knock anybody down at that time. And I know at that point, I remember, because I really remember that camp, because we all, you know, fighters get to talking, and you know, we were all talking about steroid abuse in boxing, and shit, Dillian White was on suspension at the time. You know, so all these other names, we were all trading names about who we knew was on what and yada, yada, yada. And Dillian was like, well, I'm on suspension right now. So, you know, nobody questioned him or jumped on him about it, though. But, you know, it is what it is, man. But, no, I didn't see anything about a knockdown. But I do remember, on another note, I do remember the media came in there. Some media source came in there, and they told them no recording. And, they were like, nobody really knew I was in camp with Fury. So they were like, wow, you got Cunningham in here. And I was in the ring sparring with Fury. And then I sparred with Huggy, and they videotaped it on the slide. They weren't supposed to videotape it. So about months later, actually about a year later, I'm searching my name on YouTube, and there's the sparring session with me and Huggy, just like a round or two. And I'm like, wow, them dirty bastards. But, it's all good. So you guys can search that, man. It's there.
It's funny.
There somewhere.
You say me and Huggy. It sound like you calling them Huggies and shit, the Pampers. Yo, it's Huey. It's Huey. But let me get to these questions from the people. It's Huey. Huey.
Yeah. It's Huey, huh? Damn. Well, everybody's calling me Huggy. It's different-ish. Hey.
We got George Foster in the UK. He says, immediately after you fought Tyson, did you know he would become this generation's best, or has it surprised you?
It has surprised me. That's a very good question, I thought, because of my experience with Fury, and people were saying I was the smallest heavyweight, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. And I was like, damn, I have to beat this dude in order to get, recognized as a real heavyweight, because I'm just a cruiserweight. With what I did to Fury, I'm like, man, somebody a little stronger, a little bigger, if they can do that, they're going to crush this dude, But this is the smart thing about Fury and his team. But that's why they wanted me in camp, because they're like, yo, this guy freaking did stuff to our fighter, to me as Fury, that we've never seen before, that we have never done before. Basically, I made them unbelievably uncomfortable. But instead of them, doing something else, they did the smart thing. Let's get this guy in camp. Let's try to work on what he did to us to defend it. And Fury really, and he tells you himself, Fury got better off of that fight, And that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you have a rough fight, and it makes you get better. It makes you see your flaws, and Fury fixed them. But no, I didn't think he was going to be this. I still, at the point of after our fight, I still thought, as I thought at our press conference, he's just a big, goofy dude. But, hey, that dude, he's a bad man. No bull.
Going back to Andy real quick, you've seen Dillian Whyte in the camps and stuff. They've been at it on the social media back and forth. He's been clowning them and stuff like that. How do you see Andy and Dillian Whyte fight turning out, and where would that fight make sense for you?
That fight would make sense in the UK. It makes sense because that would sell like it ain't never sold before. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. I don't know. That's a damn good fight. That's a 50-50 picker for me because Dillian can show up, show and prove. He always does. Andy Ruiz always shows up. Well, not always. That last Joshua fight, but that's gonna be a rumble, man. That's gonna be a barn burner. Nobody's gonna be. Only time somebody's gonna backpedal is when they got stunned or something. That's a good fight right there.
All right, we got the next Patreon question. We got Victor Baluels says Canelo Alvarez versus Jamaal Charlo. Who wins and why?
Oh man, I love the Charlos, man, but I don't see nobody messing with Canelo right now. That dude, man, he's on another plane. Just like I was just explaining with me and Fury, like how Fury he upgraded after what I put him through. Canelo did that after the Floyd fight. He kind of went to that Floyd status in the ring, untouchable. Just perfect every time. Like that dude. Canelo's on another level, you know. I don't see them beating Canelo. With all due respect to my homies, man, I really like the Charlos, man, but I think Canelo gets that win.
Do you think he cheated? You don't got to answer if that puts you in an awkward position, but obviously he tested positive for clenbuterol. He claims it was, you know, tainted meat. He went ahead and did hair follicle tests and all that stuff, but, you know, fans are like, you know, when you did the test, plenty of time for, you know, it to not be in your system, blah, blah, blah. How do you feel about that situation? Because he is this generation's face, right? And it's a little...
See, I was going to say this in my comment because, I mean, somebody asked me who's my pound-for-pound best, and they're like, wow, you don't have Canelo at top? And I'm like, listen, once you get tainted with a PED, an illegal, you know, drug, I can't place you on a pound-for-pound. Who knows how long you've been doing that? You guys, you know I know I fought fighters on the stuff that didn't fail the test. I know for a fact. I can't prove it, you know, but we know fighters talk, we know. But then Tarver failed the test, and like I said with that, like, listen, this guy is known for power. You have to question all his fights, all his big fights. You have to question all his big wins. So with Canelo, I believe it. Yeah, I know the pet use in boxing is rampant. It is rampant. I know some stuff that make motherfuckers be like, man, you crazy, you know, and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not saying any names, anything, because I don't have proof. I don't want to get sued. But there's a lot of fighters out here, man, that's doing this crap, and I don't put it past Canelo. You know, I don't put it past them. People have to realize there's money involved, tons of money involved. All right, we already have children killing their parents for measly life insurance, $100,000. You know what I'm saying? Mothers getting killed for $20,000. You don't think a man's going to make himself stronger, faster, better, in order to win millions of dollars and fame? Come on, man. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, man. I think if that fight with Canelo goes down with Charlo, it's going to be some high testing going on, man. So we'll see. Should be.
All right. We got Carlito in the UK says, what's your thoughts on Ishe Smith debunking this Glovegate story?
You know, with the Glovegate, man, you know, I know everybody saw my video. What's the kid's name? The white kid from Detroit. He did a video, he did an interview where he was explaining he's from Detroit and that's what those dudes
Joey Spencer.
Yeah, there you go. And I was very surprised that young kid spoke up, because if people see the flack that I was getting for this Glovegate, that would discourage a few people. Even Spence, Earl Spence spoke up about it. I mean, a lot of fighters won't speak up because they don't want this backflack from the fans, and they're trashing me on Twitter every chance they get, but I don't care. But my thing with the Glovegate and Ishe Smith is everybody's, you know, it's just like things in life, you know, like a short example, Bill Gates. He said he wants vaccines and he want to kill so many people. People still like, I'm going to get the vaccine from Bill Gates. I'm like, what the fuck? You didn't hear this dude say this shit at the damn meeting? So with this Glovegate, you can look and see what you see, and people are still, for whatever reasons, be like, hey, nah, y'all crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with this glove. I've been boxing, 2020. I've been boxing for 20 years. 20 years, and I've never seen a glove, while you're throwing a hook, flip backwards like that. I mean, it's like there's nothing in it. So I
yeah, but what's the gain from it? What's the gain from the glove being halfway off is what Ishe asks us. Because we just had him on.
Yeah, so the game... Yeah, so the game, and in my eyes, in my world, what I've seen and other fighters have said, the game is just the glove, just like Joey Spence said, the glove is slid up. There's no padding. if you put your fist in the wrist, you're hitting a guy with the thin layer of glove leather. That's it. There's no padding. It gets you stunned. It gets more damage. More damage. Now, people talk about, I've heard it all from the fans. That hurts your hand. Man, listen, when you're fighting, you don't feel no pain. How the hell do you think we can go for 12 rounds? And we're punching each other. I'm getting punched from a guy who's been lifting damn weights and push-ups and doing all of this for 8 weeks. So, and I'm still going. Of course, I don't feel any pain. I don't feel pain like that. It's, the adrenaline is on tilt. So that's a gain in it. Also, there's just too much stuff, too much footage out there for me to say something different, You can see when he comes to the corner at one of the videos where Ricky Hatton slides the glove down. He just grabs it and pulls it. The glove is loose. It's, so until, like I told me and Ishe, we're cool. That's my bro. I love him and his family. But we had some, not like words, I won't kill you on Twitter, but just we discussed this on Twitter. And I said, I just put the picture up with the glove bent almost back to his forearm while he's throwing the hook. And I'm like, listen, this is going to cut it off. Explain this then. And that was it. That was it. No more rap. So it's like nobody can explain it. I'm not talking about a flick jab. Yep, Ali threw a flick jab. The glove bent. That's a jab. I'm talking about a hook and the glove's getting pushed back from wind resistance. Like that never happened. I never seen that in my life. In my life, yo. And I train with weight suits on, with ankle weights on my wrist, weighted gloves. I train, and that doesn't happen. So the only logical explanation is what it looks like. The glove slid down. I mean, this is slid down, and the glove is just blowing in the wind.
Blowing in the wind. Champ, we got Israel in Oklahoma. Says, Steve, I'm a fellow Navy man, so shout out to the USS. As a former cruiser and heavyweight fighter, what's your thoughts on Usyk move up? Will he meet expectations in your opinion? Next time in Oklahoma, lunch on me. You do not have to answer it since you already gave a lot on Usyk, but he definitely wanted to give him a shout out. But you did already give your expectations of Usyk.
Yeah.
All right, I
think he's going to do good, man. Do good.
If you want to add anything to the Usyk topic, feel free. I was just trying to, not make you reiterate anything.
No, that's good.
Okay, cool. We got
that's good enough.
We got intrigue in Atlanta. Says Jerron Boots Ennis has went on record stating he is ready to fight all the champions of the welterweight division. If Ennis and Crawford were to happen down the road, who do you favor to win that fight and why?
Damn.
Personal for you, huh? You from Philly, Ennis being out there?
Yeah, man. No, that kid is special, man. That kid is special, damn special. I would like to see him fight some of the other champions first, then get that experience, then face a Crawford. Because let's not get it twisted. Crawford is damn special too, beyond special. And he has the experience at those levels. So I'd give that to Crawford just because of the experience. Special meaning special makes for fireworks, but I don't think Ennis is ready yet for a Crawford, as per se, experience-wise. Now, if we get Ennis in there with a few champions, a few rugged former champions at that weight, and see how he handles, well, not even how he handles, as long as he gets the win, that brings experience and knowledge. Then he could face a Crawford, and then we can change the prediction. But as of right now, like per se, him going straight to a Crawford, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it 100%. And I love that whole family, but I think I'd like to see him get the experience first.
The fight that I recommend, when I'm trying to match make, I want them to go ahead and steal it from me. They won't give me no credit, but I think Ugas and Ennis is the right fight to make because Ugas isn't like this big time PBC guy. He could easily go do a Showtime, boxing main event with Ennis over there.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A guy like Ugas, that's perfect for Ennis before he starts fighting. A guy like a Crawford. You know what I mean? I think that's the fight. Because we need that, like I said, I'm gonna keep it up with 400%. Ennis has to get a name like that on his record. He needs a name like that on his record. It seems like in boxing nowadays that, like when I was coming up, we had to fight the guy who fought for a championship but lost. Then you fought the guy who was a champion. Then you fought, you know what I'm saying? You fought these prospects, stuff like that. We don't see that a lot nowadays. We just see, hey, look, he's beating up guys, he's beating up these guys who he should beat up, boom, give him a title shot. I'd like to see these guys get a little more knowledge in there, a little more experience from these rugged, rough guys who were former champs, who contested for championships but didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? And then learn from that.
I'm going to put you in a hard spot, man. Former champ. You want Ennis to learn from that. Philly special. Danny Garcia, Ennis, and the Liacouras Center. Is that too small? Do they take that to the Barkley? And what do you think of that fight?
Yeah, that goes to the Barclays, man. Philly don't show up like that. I mean, they would for Danny, man. Danny's different. They would for Danny. They could rock that. They could sell the Liacouras out, man. They could. But I think that's a bigger size fight for Barclays. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Danny's off the charts. Don't get it twisted. But Ennis is young, up and coming. I think Danny was showing some stuff, man. I think Danny could show him some stuff. Yeah, I had to rock with the champion, man, the experienced champ, and Danny, man, for now. No doubt.
Beautiful, man, because on this show, people like to, because this is a call, and obviously when I get done with you, there's dozens of callers waiting to speak, and they don't really give Danny that respect at welterweight, and, I can't knock them because even though you call Crawford special, I'm the guy on the show that doesn't really give Crawford respect at 147, even though, Even though his win at 47 is probably bigger than any win at 47 that Danny has had. But Danny's just faced the better opposition. Right. So, what do you think of Danny's welterweight career?
I think, I think, number one, that division is so packed with with dope fighters, man. It's going to be rough for anybody, look at Earl Spence and Porter. Everybody, Earl Spence is the motherfucking man. Don't get it twisted. But nobody thought Porter was going to bring him some heat like that, So with that being said, the matchups, man, you got these matchups that make for these great dope fights. You know what I mean? Spence against anybody, Porter against anybody. So you put Danny in there, and Danny surprises all the time. Or I won't say surprises, but Danny does things. He gets it done in good fashion, awesome fashion. He gets it done. His fight with Thurman was a barn burner. They were mixing it up. People fail to realize, when Danny was an amateur, Danny was a boxer. So when he turned pro, he started becoming a puncher, but he still has that boxing ability in him. And we've seen it. His eye, he's got a keen eye, countering. He's countering. Danny is top notch with the counters. Probably one of the best, in today's boxing with the counters. He sets his timing, he sets you up, and it's over. So you can't sleep on Danny. One thing for fans, man, when a guy loses once or twice, or how many other times, they just count you out. Now you just ain't shit no more. He ain't shit. He lost. Come on, man, cut that undefeated. Everybody can't be undefeated. Everybody can't be. Shout out to those who have been.
You said Danny surprised us. You kind of took it back, but let's keep that in mind. With that same thing in conversation, obviously it's been rumored. Not rumored. I mean, he's the mandatory Earl Spence said he's next. Then the accident happened, but now that COVID happened, when we get off of COVID, the assumption is Danny Garcia versus Earl Spence. What shot you giving him?
Shit, I'm telling you, man. I'm Philly, bro. I'm Philly. I'm gonna roll with my guy with DSG because he gets it done, man. And all credit to Spence, man. He's that dude. He is freaking great. But Sean Porter kind of put a little something on him, not wanting to affect him for the future. I'm saying showed us that he's not untouchable. You know what I'm saying? But even also in that fight, he showed you, hey, and then put Sean Porter down. I give Danny a chance. I give Danny a damn good chance in that fight. Like, this is one of them fights, man. It's a pick'em. Yeah, Earl Spence is going to be the favorite, but I give Danny that chance. You know what I'm saying? Big time. Because styles make fights big. I mean, this is perfect, man. And Earl Spence brings that heat, and that might give Danny his opportunities for them counters. But Spence is with a great team. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these fights I don't like picking because first in boxing, nobody knows. So you just go by what you think, what you've seen in these guys. But I know personally, when you get in there with a fighter and you're more, you get in there with a more exceptional fighter, a fighter that has that skill, that fighter that is good, that you perceive, this dude is dope. You step up. I've done that numerous times. You step up to the plate and do stuff that surprise you. So that could happen on either one of these guys' sides,
We've been talking about Terence Crawford, you know what I'm saying, and how, sometimes we don't give him enough credit on his resume at the 147-pound division. He's only fought 4 times, and, we haven't got that guy that's going to, take him to that point where we're going to see, Terence in a light that, all right, he's one of the best. I mean, we know he's one of the best, but the resume sometimes doesn't speak for itself at 147. Porter's been talked about. Porter's fought Danny. Porter's fought Earl. How do you see this fight? And is it a good fight for Crawford?
Porter makes it rough for everybody, man. I mean, except Kell Brook, and where's Kell Brook been anyway? Well, he should be in his damn mix, but. Porter makes it rough, man. His style of fight is vicious, man. Porter's on another level with that style, and it's beautiful, and he does it gracefully. I don't think anyone can imitate that and do it just as gracefully. But I don't know, man. Like that one right there, I don't know, because you have these fights with these great fighters like Crawford, and then you have a guy in Porter who's a damn good champion. He just didn't ascend to that Crawford level yet. This could be the fight. You know what I mean? This fight right here, everybody watches the Porter fight because the fireworks is coming. So,
hell yeah.
I'll lean towards Crawford, no doubt. But there is no doubt in my mind that Porter couldn't bring the upset. There's no doubt in my mind. I would not be surprised if Porter got in there and dethroned Crawford. There would be no surprise.
Staying with Crawford, J-Mac in New Orleans asks, Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence, who you got and why? Break it down for us, please.
Yeesh, man. I'm gonna roll with Spence on that one, man. Because Spence has this mentality, his boxing ability, his boxing style. I'm gonna rock with Spence on that one, man. Just because. This is one thing, and it is something seriously solid. Spence has been fighting top-notch dudes. Top-notch. And Crawford, not saying it's his fault or that they're picking these guys, but these guys haven't been former champs and this and that. This is what he can get. I was in that position as a cruiserweight champ. I had to fight mandatory because the other champs didn't want to fight me. So you got to take what you can get to make that check to get in front of these people. But because of Earl Spence's body of work that he's been putting in, I'm gonna rock with Earl, man. I'm gonna rock with Earl.
All right, we got Nicholas who says, "What's good, shipmate? I've always admired your story. I'm also a fellow sailor and aircraft carrier guy. Shout out to USS Harry, USS Harry S. and Truman and USS John C. Stennis."
Yeah, that was my ship. The USS Enterprise was parked kind of next to this Truman and the Stennis, man. So shoot, I probably ran into this dude if he was in while I was in.
He says, "So sadly, Steve, the Navy no longer allows smoker fights in the hangar bay.
Yeah.
My question is, did you get to have some smokers during your service, and would you like to see the Navy bring them back? Much respect and fair winds." And he put an emoji of the ship and the anchor.
Shoot, they stopped that hangar bay fight and stuff, man, in the 80s, in the late 80s, I believe, because they weren't doing it when I was there in '94. But for my experience, when I joined the Navy and before I even made the Navy boxing team, I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. We would get fights in Norfolk, in Roanoke, in DC, in Maryland. Anywhere we could get, every man. When I was an amateur, we fought like 3 weekends out of the month, 2 or 3 weekends. We were traveling. So then I fought the Navy light heavyweight champ, I fought the Navy light heavyweight champ my first fight and beat him. But after I got those other fights around the area, then I made the Navy boxing team. I went and got my paperwork approved. But I think. You just those fighters gotta get that work in around the area, man. Put the work in. Don't wait Just go get them.
All right, so we got a few more. Prince of Power. Why do you think so many black coaches are saying they don't see anything wrong with the Fury gloves?
I mean, I believe a lot of people don't want to talk about it because they just don't want controversy. They don't want the backlash. Hey, go wake them up. The Hebrew class about to start. They don't want the backlash. They don't want it because in this era of social media, man, you got any old dickhole can go up to the champion and. Just say someone will just fly crap. You know what I'm saying? Stuff they wouldn't say. We damn well know you ain't a tough guy. If Muhammad Ali was on social media, some racist hater could call him, could go up there and just say whatever they want to him. So this is the level we're at right now. So a lot of people aren't built for that type of backlash. They don't want that type of controversy. A lot of people are in that mode of, man, I'm minding my business. You know what I'm saying? But for me, like I said, in the video, I love boxing. I love sport boxing. Listen, I don't know what he did. I'm just saying what it looks like. Can somebody explain it? That's the way I should have worded it. You know what I mean? But it's all good. That shit is fishy as hell. It's very fishy to me. So I like to know what's going on. But a lot of fighters ain't speaking on it, man. A lot of coaches ain't speaking on it. But that's publicly. Privately, people talking about it, man.
All right. We got Osiris Boxing says, do you think Tyson cheated with his gloves when he fought you? Asking for delusional Wilder fans.
Nah, I don't. I didn't see anything. I'm gonna tell you the truth. With my fight with Fury, he underestimated me heavily. He looked at me, this dude's small, I'm gonna beat him. He got in there, all that goofing around in the first round, second round, got his ass knocked down and almost got him KO'd, and then he tightened up a bit. Just went to the day, man, this motherfucker about to beat me. I gotta do what I gotta do. So he did what he had to do to get the win. I didn't see any glove thing. I didn't see any of that, you know.
All right, we got Sam Gilly says, do you feel like Fury used dirty tactics against you and Wilder, i.e., example, excessive clinching and headlocks?
Yeah, that headlock, that's his thing. Yeah, indeed, for my situation, indeed, I believe he, we all saw it. I mean, he did. He admitted it. You know, he said it, you know, but as I tell people, once the bell rings, even like I train my sons, you know, they're amateurs. We go to all these national tournaments. And the last tournament with my 8-year-old, my 9-year-old, he lost in the championships. And the ref is just, you know, looking at the kid wrestle and hold and and I'm like, yo, ref, what the fuck is you doing? Yo, like, call that shit. So afterwards, the manager of the table is like, let me handle it. And I'm like, dude, you wasn't seeing shit. We're all looking at it. So I'm like, but once the bell rings, it's over. You know, nothing happens. There's nothing that's going to be done. The same thing in a pro fight. Once the bell rings, the fight is over. It's done. Whoever's hand raised is the hand that's raised. You know, you can bitch and moan all you want. And unless you file that protest, which is some political crap too, and win it, then you get, but that's months later. Once that bell rings, it's over. So Fury does what they allow him to do. You know, if they allow you to wrestle and head clinch, why would I stop it? And I'm winning because of it? Why? If they allow me to bring a knife in the ring and stab them up, why would I not do that? You know, if they're not going to say anything. You know, so we did see the head clinch with Wilder. That's what Fury does. I'm not saying he's doing it maliciously. It could be a defense mechanism, but I do know it does cut off his circulation because that crap, he wraps it right around your throat. But outside of that, with the second Wilder fight, he beat Wilder, man. I mean, he beat Wilder fair and square. I've watched that fight 3 times and saw what Fury was doing with the left hook, setting him up with the right hand. Wilder, that equilibrium shot, which messed him up, man. That messed him up from the gate. And from there, Fury took off even more. So, but let's go to the Wilder thing. This is one thing. I picked Wilder to KO Fury, right? I picked Wilder to KO Fury in the rematch. I did not know, if I would have known that Wilder does not run, if I would have known that Wilder does not run against a guy like Fury, I would not have picked Wilder. Just because of that. And the first fight, Fury got up from those right hands. Fury, a lot of fighters, man, if you hit them with your best and they get up from that, you can't hurt them anymore. And we see, I think Wilder landed that right hand a few times in the first couple rounds. And Fury he waved that crap off. He kept moving. I was like, yo. So with the conditioning, man, conditioning gives you an extra oomph in there, man. Those long runs, those running 3 and 4 and 5 miles, does something different to your body. So with Wilder not running, man, that's why we saw him all discombobulated, man. He needs that extra conditioning, man.
We got 2 more. We have Idris in the UK says, what would you like to be done in the rematch between Wilder and Fury in terms of the glove gate?
I mean, this is my thing with the glove gate. You know, I did my video. It was from the first fight. It was from their first fight. I didn't see it in the second fight. I didn't even look. You know, I didn't look for it in the second fight. It was in the first fight. It's something to talk about, something to bring up. It's what he did. Something to show a record of Fury doing some crazy stuff. But, I mean, in every fighter's career, there's crazy stuff. Shit, there's a video out there about me thumbing dudes on purpose. That shit is unfreaking heard of. Who the fuck can do that? But everybody's career is going to have something in it. There's nothing that can be done except for people who are just going to be watching his gloves extra cool. Everybody's going to be watching now. And Fury, nobody's going to see anything. It's not going to happen. Really, in all actuality, from the second fight, does he need to do anything to the damn gloves? Nope. You know, unless Wilder changes some significant stuff and he starts really bringing that heat to Fury, then that's when Fury gets into those situations, that mindset of, damn, I might lose this. I got to do something, you know, and then he might start laying and clinching more, you know, anything. But nah, man, I don't think anything's going to be done. I mean, the commission they do what they do already, and that's all that they are required to do the day before with the gloves. And in the locker room, there's just going to be more eyes on those gloves. That's it.
All right. The last one is from Kels in California. Says, Steve, help me understand something. When Mexican fans back their Mexican fighters, no one has a problem. Similarly, when white fans back their fighters, no one has a problem. But the minute black fans, like the Lions Den boxing community, back their fighters, there's an outrage. And it's always racial.
Right.
Why do you think this is that?
Right.
Or, excuse me,
That's
why do you think
awesome
that
question,
is?
man.
Why do you think that is, he said?
Because, and you guys who follow me, you guys know I'm all over racism. I'm all over this stuff. I had a conversation with a guy, and we were talking about racism in boxing. And I'll tell you exactly what I told him. This is why this happened. We see there's racism in the police department. We see there's racism in real estate. We see there's racism in schools. Shit. They got laws against black people wearing their natural fucking hair. You know what I'm saying? There's laws against black people wearing their natural hair. We see racism everywhere. But people seem to believe that at the gates of boxing, racism stops. That's imbecilic. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. They think that racism just stops at the gates of boxing. Oh man, it's this, it's equal that. Man, no. Racism is rampant everywhere. Everywhere. So if we see black people doing something to better their lives, a march, a protest, a boycott, and we see all of this flack that so-called black people get from Americans, from white Americans, and we see that they get that from it. We don't think that we're not gonna get that in boxing for us joining together to support our guys. Why wouldn't we? This is one of my issues, and one of the reasons I made my video after the Wilder Fury fight about people saying Wilder's a bum. Like these European fighters, Fury, Ricky Hatton brought, I think it was like 7,000 people from the UK to America to watch him fight. Shit, I fought in Poland twice. I fought in Germany about 4 times. South Africa, Canada. Then nobody followed me. Well, I had like 3 people follow me to Canada. But nobody followed me across the pond. Nobody. The only person rooting for me was my wife in the audience. And my trainers in the corner. That's it. But we got these European fighters. Usyk. I saw Usyk and Lomachenko fight in Baltimore. And in Baltimore. And when they announced the guys that they were fighting, the American black guys that they were fighting, the fighters that they were fighting, there was no applause. But then when they announced Usyk and Lomachenko, the freaking auditorium went crazy. So the support for the black fighter, why is people concerned? We need to support our fighters. America should support their black fighters. The majority of the champions in America are freaking blacks and Latinos, you know? So if an American fighter is fighting a European fighter in America, there should be no way that the European fighter gets a bigger standing ovation or applause, you know, or recognition. There should be no way. At no time when I fought overseas and they announced my name did I get a bigger applause than the Polish or German fighters I was fighting. That was unheard of. You know, so they have an issue with us supporting each other in anything. So it's not going to be no different in boxing. It's not going to be no different. Racism does not stop at the gates of boxing.
Well, Steve, those are all our questions, man. I do want to thank you, obviously, for your time. It was a pleasure to have you on once again, man. Thanks again. Just give out any social media for anybody that isn't following you can do so.
All right, guys, and girls, we got. I've been working on a comic book, man, turning into some fighters and superheroes. Check my Instagram out for that. USS Comics, man. Please check that out. I got my first comic book. I'm actually drawing while we speak. I'm finishing the cover for USS versus Hardcore Man Sword. Check that out. Is that a USS Comics 76 on Instagram, man. Outside of that, the real USS on Instagram, USS Cunningham. Just Google. The social media is there. Hit me up. Ask me questions. I'm really I interact with everybody, man. I'm not one of them guys who ignore the fans, man. So hit me up, man. Ask me questions. It don't matter. Let's have it.
All right, Chan. Well, thanks again. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. USS Cunningham. Just want to thank him again for coming on the show. Definitely a pleasure. Answered all the fans' questions. So shout out to everybody that joined Patreon and got their question asked by the former Cruiserweight World Champion. We're going to go out to these phone lines, bring it back to our host. Any final thoughts? Anything you guys want to wrap up before we move on and get to the callers?
USS 70 Comic 76. I'm gonna look at that one. You see
That's
that
pretty.
artwork.
That's pretty neat, right? I knew you'd like that. You're an artist and shit.
USS Comic 76.
Yo, I see a shirt.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like a canvas.
I see a superhero on a shirt named Steve Cunningham. But nah, man. Final words on this. The main topic was Bellew and Andy. At the beginning, I start off with not liking it. Maybe having a little opposite direction than this, but then. You gotta love it for what it is. Underdog, Mexican, UK, in the UK. There's just a lot of ups to that. So I don't know. It would have to be a pretty damn healthy Bellew. But
my final thought is I will watch the fight. There is excitement behind both fighters, and we'll get to gauge what Andy Ruiz is. Does he cheat on his diet, or does he remain disciplined and just walks through Tony Bellew?
Shit, if he's at Reynoso's, he better.
Better. Let's get on out to the sponsors, then we're going to go to the phone lines.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
All right. Let's get on out to Cincinnati. Brandon, what up?
Hey, good morning. What's the topic? Andy Ruiz versus Tony Bellew, right?
Yes.
Like it, love it, or hate it?
I don't care. I tolerate it. Really right now, if it ain't involving Wilder, AJ, or Fury, I'm gonna tolerate it because it's kind of not a big deal to me. But in my opinion, it's a 50-50 fight. I never believed in the fat boy Andy Ruiz. I was one of the few people saying, he was gonna lose the rematch, and his fat ass got lucky, and I stick by that. I never thought he was that good. So, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon now. I think it's a 50-50 fight. He can lose it, he can win it, but I don't care about it really. Like I said, if it ain't involving the top dogs at this point, I don't care. So let them fight and do whatever they want to do.
Brandon, you're a candidate of the year. Andy Ruiz, you would say he's up there, right? Top 5 at least?
No, he's not top 5.
Okay.
Cut it. That logic means that he thinks that the win was a fluke. Like an anomaly.
Yeah, well, that's the question a lot of people have. The win is it a fluke? And that's what makes this fight interesting.
It's supposed to have been answered with the second fight that it was a fluke, but him coming in overweight kind of saved them from that. You know what I mean? Because now you coming into his next fight saying, well, is he going to come in ashamed? Could he be the same guy that fought the first time? That's how you looking at it. If he would have came in shape and still got his ass kicked, Andy wouldn't be as big as he still is. But the what if in everyone's mind is still there, doggy.
What if Tony Bellew has that what if, and that's why he said to Eddie Hearn, like, yo, feed me Andy Ruiz. I'll come back.
What if I've not been eating anything I want? What if I maybe was working out? That's a lot of what ifs, man. That's the only thing that gets me like in the downside of the fight, because like I don't want him coming back and just getting knocked the fuck out in the first 2 rounds. Like I would like it to be competitive, so it's like you better be if you contemplating, you better at least been taking care of yourself.
Yeah, my biggest what ifs are like, what if at the elite level he did, slide through a bad AJ, and then what if he just can't compete against that level?
Yeah, well, that's what these fights start to tell us. The fights, paint that picture. But let me get to New Jersey.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean.
What up, King? Like it, love it, tolerate it.
Listen. I'm gonna use my whole 3 minutes, man. Cause listen, I was listening to the show, and the first I went on Patreon. Shout out to the show. This is what PPV does. Cause I went on Patreon, at 7:30 this morning. Y'all motherfuckers up working early, and I saw the topic. I said, man. So I call in, and I said, yo, Nestor Gibbs is a diabolical fuck. He like fucking with people's head, because I said, why is he excited about Tony Bellew and Andy Ruiz? And then he be talking, right? And then he started to turn Doomy. So when I first was listening, I said, yo, me and Doomy, we gonna ride on him. But then he started to turn us a little bit. And here's what I'm gonna say. Based on, sometimes we confuse the argument of the sport. The way Ness lay it out, that's great for boxing. Is it the fight we want in our hearts? Perhaps not. And that's why I think when I said, I could rock with Doomy on it, because in my heart, I'm asking Andy Ruiz, why the fuck you ain't trying to fight Dillian White? Whether it was $5 million or $4 million, yo, fuck it. Yo, why he ain't, don't fight Tony Bellew, a cruiserweight. Yo, fight Charles Martin even. You know what I'm saying? Dillian White fight Charles Martin. Only reason why I'm saying Charles Martin, he put himself back in the conversation. If Andy Ruiz fights Tony Bellew, yeah, he got this fight, and then he got another. But he's showing me that he's a fucking head case. And as a former fat boy, I gotta say, I'm disappointed in the self-discipline, because that's why Tony Bellew is picking on him. He's looking at an undisciplined man and saying, "I'm gonna get in there and fight."
It seemed like he don't really like the fight. Then I don't understand how he's riding.
He swayed us. Ness
I think that was a fantastic call that he had. He gave you both sides of the argument, right? He gave you why he initially did not like the fight, but again, some of us were just in love with boxing. So what's best for boxing, sometimes we willing to sacrifice. And this is what's best for boxing, because we'll get a bigger fight. Like, Andy will grow from this, and then that will make a bigger fight. Whether that be Andy AJ, Andy Dillian, Andy Wilder, it's bigger.
I don't think it's. I think it's put like I mean said. Charles Martin is back in the conversation. I think it puts Andy Ruiz back in the possible conversation.
You know what's funny though? Bellew is the same guy that said that.
Hold on. Think about what you said. He's already in the conversation. How many options? I can name 6 options.
Yeah, but he's in the conversation as like, is it a fluke? It's not like, yo, he's a winner.
Papa, does it matter? He's in the conversation.
Is he a really fat boy? He just called him a cakehead.
Yo, it don't matter. He's still.
It does matter. What are you talking about?
He's still in the conversation. He still got options, and he's still the A side in almost all of those fights.
As a cakehead.
According to you, not boxing, not the promoters, not the fighters calling him out, not his bank account. None of that shit.
Retired fighter calling him out is because he's like, I see food. And Dillian White calling him out, I see food.
And keep going. Luis Ortiz wants some. Adam Kovnacki wants some. Keep going.
That's where it stops
No,
for me.
no,
right there.
no, it stops for you because you ain't got my matchmaking skills.
I'm not sharing everybody's opinion.
I'm not asking you to. You ain't got my matchmaking skills. For me, if he's successful with the Bellew, they could give him Bellew, even hit him off with after Bellew UK pay-per-view. Bring him back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. Put him in there with Areola. Hopefully everything goes well. Yeah. Listen to me.
He whooped out Areola.
Yeah.
So he gonna fight all the retired fighters.
Yo, so you don't remember what
retired Rampage?
Yo, so you don't remember what Areola did to Adam Kubnacki? That shit was a tight fight. Tight. All we gotta do is run replays. So look, we give Andy that all-out Mexican affair. Staples Center is going down. Give me the Warrior Cry. Come on, who got it? Who got the Mexican kid? Mariachis coming out. All that great shit in Staples Center.
Heavyweights.
Now,
I think that's unheard of.
Now guess what? After Andy wins the Areola fight, guess what?
He's a superstar.
Wilder pay-per-view. Easy. America. Wilder pay-per-view. Easy. Simultaneously, Wilder either wins the Fury rematch or loses and gets a tune-up while Andy's fighting these two fights. You see what I'm saying? Simultaneously, because those are still PBC's two biggest stars. It would make absolutely no sense not to rebuild them and put them in a pay-per-view fight together. It don't make no sense.
You dug in the bag, man. I will tolerate those fights, as Brandon said. I will tolerate Areola versus Ruiz.
If
he bring out all the retired fighters.
If it means you get the Wilder Ruiz, right?
Right.
Hey, listen, you gotta build it. Wilder with Fury did, let's say, 850, right? Obviously, we 7 days from now, our UK listeners are like, that was all Fury. Cool. But Ruiz is a huge commodity. There's 36.6 Mexican Americans in America. Wilder versus Ruiz is still a big fight. And any planet that you on, it's still big.
For sure.
Listen, Ortiz.
Real quick, let me just say this because I've been trying to get this off. I just want to say something, right? Because I find it funny that Bellew is trying to fight Andy, but said that the only heavyweight he didn't see himself beating was AJ, but Andy beat AJ. So it's like, I wonder.
But they're calling it a fluke, bro. That's what it is. People think it's a fluke.
I think it goes back to what Ness said. Ness said
that's why you build Andy.
But Ness said earlier that Tony Bellew that Andy Ruiz represents that will he, won't he? Is he better than Bellew? In Bellew's mind, maybe it doesn't matter because he knows that he stands to risk coming in underprepared. You know what I mean? So like in his mind, he might be thinking, well, even if Fury's a little, soft in the belly, he's, his skills make up for it. AJ, he's always going to come in looking like a beast, whether that helps him with cardio or not, doesn't, that's besides the point. But with Andy, will he or won't he? That's the big thing. And to me, I don't think that necessarily makes him the lowest hanging fruit, but it definitely makes him a target.
What it makes him is more intriguing. You know how many more people call in? More people tune in to see that what if factor? The same ones that allegedly don't believe in Andy no more are still checking it out because they like, man, what if he do come in shape? But, yeah, man, so let me head on out to Troy, Baltimore. Talk to us.
Yeah, I'm going to use all my time, man. But good interview. I'm a big fan of Steve Cunningham. I could care less about that fight with Andy and Bellew. I see what he's doing. He's taking this, I guess, supposedly the safe route because he could have fought White, and that would have been a much bigger fight. But if he's all that you say he is, why is he taking the safe route? And he doesn't have all the Mexican fans because prior to beating Joshua, he didn't have them, and the way he fought and the way he carried himself in the second fight, he lost a lot of people. So unless he does something big, he's not really going to get them back. And fighting Bellew is not big, so I don't see him having all this support and all that. He should have took the White fight. That would have been a bigger fight, especially if he would have stopped him. You know? So, that's it.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, if he is going to end up with Reynoso, it was clearly a decision that needed to manifest, so I don't blame him for that. And I don't know. I just don't want to throw him in with a guy like White, before he has time to work with his new trainer and get accustomed to it from the professional setting. It's one thing to be in camp. It's another thing to be in the corner.
I mean, the people that are upset at this are the people that wanted Andy to jump straight into,
To White.
a top, level fight. And when you're an elite, that's not the way it works. When Danny lost, he got a tune-up.
You know what it is though, Ness? I don't mean to interrupt, but like a lot of people are gonna look at it like it's not like you lost like getting beat up. You lost at the scale. So it's like, why do you really need that in between fight? Like we need you back in there in action with these guys. So it's like there's some people that are gonna look at it that way, and there's gonna be some people that'll say, you know what, it's a wonderful fight. That's why starting up this topic in the beginning, I'm like, how good could this be for Andy? Because if it's gonna benefit him and boxing, then I'm for it. But that's a lot of stuff that people are going to think about.
But everything right now with Andy has to do with the word if. That's just the bottom line. Everything has to do with that. If he gets with Reynoso, if he's disciplined with Reynoso, if he shows up, if he's on weight, like everything is if. We get that. But like if we're just gonna live in that, we gotta strike him from the board. Just allow him. All his news to happen, don't report it. Allow his fight to happen, don't report it unless he's successful. Because, I mean, this is reality. Andy's gonna be used. They're not sending $4 million offers for nothing. Like, it's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? Like, you can Google plenty of other top fighters that on paper, in the media, their paydays are $1, $2, $3 million, $4 million paydays, $7 million paydays. That stuff you need to start paying attention to. You don't want to pay attention to it, it's all good, man. I'm still young. Someone's going to respect the matchmaking ability. Right now, you guys don't see it, but him and Areola in L.A., it's a huge fight. Huge fight.
After Bellew.
And
then Lewis followed by Luis Ortiz.
Listen,
so he fights three retired fighters.
They could do it. They could do it before Bellew, but you'd leave in the bag. I told Wilder, don't leave that $5 million Chisora bag. Chisora would have been retired right now. He'd have fought Wilder. Don't leave that Dillian White bag. He left them bags on the floor, but he got big ones, right? So maybe in his mind it made it up because he got like, let's say $20 million paydays. $20 million paydays. So it's like, why would I pick up that 12 in 2 fights? So I get the logic, man. I get the logic. We going out to the callers. Arizona, Bomb Boxing. What up?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing today? Can you hear me?
All good. Sound good.
Yeah, I'm in a bad service area too. There's no scenario, in my opinion, that Bellew is going to last in a heavyweight fight with an Andy Ruiz. He's not going to hurt him for one. For two, it's a bad grab, like you said. Andy's hot. The money could be there. So, go get it. And, Bellew can box. But is he physically going to be able to hurt Andy? I mean, Andy's got a granite chin, so I just don't see it. I'll watch it, of course, because I am a boxing fan. All boxing. I don't care who you are. But let's be realistic. It's not going to be a good fight, but it's easy to make, so let's make it.
All right.
Damn, that bird took me back to the hood. Those birds used to be at my grandma's when I lived with her every morning. I just flash back right now when I heard his bird in the back.
Yo, listen, I mean, we could live in Fantasy Island or we could live in the reality of boxing. And boxing is driven business first. So I hear you guys talking about, Ness is going down the Mexican diet. Because Andy's fat and want to eat tacos, he deserves a tune-up. You guys are just silly. You don't understand. Let me finish, Enrique. You don't understand. There's money involved in Andy. I bought his contract out. And I've watched his popularity grow tenfold. Why wouldn't I rebuild them for another huge payday? Like, you guys, I mean, come on, man. Help me.
I get
believe that you are some sort of good business person. That you would be successful if you was behind the fucking wheel. But saying the shit y'all say, crazy. It's crazy.
Because you looking at it, okay, we all get it, but business makes the fights first, not the fans. We get it. I understand that.
Y'all don't. No, y'all don't. Y'all don't get it.
I'm being a fan. I'm not being freaking Tom Loafer and them. I'm being a fan. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm the guy in front of the television. Dude, I'm not in the production or the managerial or the matchmaker. I'm giving you my perspective as a like, okay, look, listen, let me finish. I'll let you finish, right? I'm going to watch the fight, but automatically I know who won. I'm going to say, okay, they making their money, but I know who's going to win looking at the fight, going into the fight. And yes, I am the fan that's going to use all the what-if cards against Andy because we all saw it and we all like, what if it was a big-ass fluke? Done.
Look, I had my hand up. So, look, I respect where Enrique is coming from. I appreciate where Enrique is coming from. And honestly, if anybody's listening to this and doesn't have context, they're agreeing with him just based off of what he's saying. You know what I mean? It sounds like Ness is talking corporate America stuff, and you know, Enrique's talking about, you know, doing things right for the fans. But I lived through the top-ranked Golden Boy era, you know, and all the backfighting and all the backstabbing and all the fights that we didn't get because he's on that side and he's on that side. So when I think about boxing these days, it's a little jaded, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes that's what Enrique doesn't appreciate about my opinion or Ness's opinion or whatever. And not say he doesn't respect it, but it's hard to appreciate an opinion that's based on us giving tune-up fights and saying that's okay because it feels like we're part of the problem as opposed to part of the solution. But I've just lived through that era so much that it's like I can't help but see a fighter with the marquee value and economic upside in Andy Ruiz getting a loss to AJ, the biggest fight, and then, you know, taking that lateral movement. No, you got to take that dip down. That's what any sensible promoter, manager, and honestly, even fighter would choose to do. They're not all built the same. You know, Thurman says whatever he wants to say, and that's fine. I respect it. You know, will he fight Crawford next? Would he fight Pacquiao next? Would he fight Porter next? Spence next? Maybe. But the smart move and the move that he's likely to do because he's handled by very, very smart people is a step down so that he can rebuild and, you know, get these fights. So when you look at that and when you think of boxing in that manner, Tony Bellew checks the boxes. He's a guy who will offer a lot of economic upside. He's not as risky. He's been out of the sport for a very long time. And for Andy Ruiz, Tony Bellew checks a lot of boxes. You know, he's not the most dangerous puncher in that division. He's not this overwhelmingly huge guy. And there's this big question mark of whether or not the real Andy Ruiz is even going to show up. So from that sense, it makes sense to me. I think it would be a beautiful pay-per-view / Dazn fight for Andy.
I'm into tune-ups. I'm just like,
what's up with these guys? Yo, what now they're saying, what proof do we have that Andy's a star? Numbers.
I mean, he fought AJ.
Numbers. No, because not everyone capitalizes. Not everyone has grown. That is the proof in itself. AJ's had how many fights, and no one has grown to this level. No one. Not Brazil, not Charles Martin, no one. No one's got it.
But there was a story behind that. Like, it's not like Andy did
and you can never take it from him. No matter what these haters want to say in the chat, you can never take that he is the first and only, will forever be edged in stone Mexican heavyweight. So you can cry all you want, call it a fluke all you want, but his tax bracket has changed. His offers are bigger, and you obviously are upset at that, all right? And I'm speaking in general because I do not understand what more proof do you need than the numbers that they are throwing at him? What more proof to say? You're telling me that the same promoters ready to make two different offers to the same guy for two different fighters, but he's not a star. So
Listen.
Eddie's wasting his time. They consistent.
Listen,
hold on.
I'm sorry.
He's not even with DAZN anymore. That's it. He lost. The 2 fights is over. There's no option, but they still sending offers. They still putting him on social media. They still making posts and shit about him, videos. Like, dog, they dying for Andy, the non-star.
Listen, you think champ. That... Yeah, exactly. And you think that, look, Dillian White fought Anthony Joshua. So why is Dillian White the guy calling everyone out and can't get a fight? If all these people that fight Joshua get the exact same type of exposure, get the same type of stardom, then why is Dillian White the one making the offer to Andy Ruiz? Why does he want that fight? Why do people keep calling Andy Ruiz out? Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of low-hanging fruit, but at the end of the day, he got more of that fight than most. Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
Mario.
That fight made him.
The way, he beat Anthony Joshua. Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson. He got the Evander Holyfield fight. You know, Josecito beat Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz couldn't fight Canelo after that. So tune-ups are potentially upsets at the end of the day. And these dudes that want to be looked at as tune-ups or bag grabbers, they want to upset the apple cart.
Ain't nobody was blowing the Andy Ruiz horn when back when he fought Joseph Parker, when he was fighting. Nobody was blowing no horn. Andy Ruiz was the fat guy that was a Mexican heavyweight, and he probably had a chance because he had fast hands. Ain't nobody was riding on Andy train, bro. Only except for the hardcores who really was sticking with him from the rip. And I'm not gonna say that I was the only one, but like
I give you credit, do me. I learned through you.
You feel me? But at the end of the day, like Andy really was that dude to make a fight with until he won against Anthony Joshua. That story, like I said, that shit, it can never be taken from him. First Mexican heavyweight, stock shot up. Think of the stock market.
Exactly.
Shot straight the hell up. That shit's
what other opponent that AJ fought has been on Jimmy Kimmel, has been on Good Morning America, has been on the Breakfast? I mean, not the Breakfast Club. I forgot the other New York show that's on Eminem's
Hot 97?
channel. No, not Hot. Yeah, see, well, he was on Hot 97 also. He was on the California one too. They're basically their version of it. Like nobody has reached the heights for being an AJ opponent that Andy Ruiz has reached. So to say that he's not a star, like even if you don't believe he's a star based on all the evidence we presented, that he has the potential there. We already saw. There's this thing in wrestling where they say if you got over once, you can get over again. Boxing's the same way in the sense that if they believed in you before, all you got to do is give them a reason to believe in you again.
Yo, I just want to say, oh my God, I lowered my headphones so that it's not so loud, but I think I need myself louder. Turn me up in the headphones. But I just want to say, that was fantastic what you said earlier. I mean, I didn't even think of that. Spot on. I got to build off it with some.
Who are you talking to?
You. I got to build off it with some facts, but I got to switch to my personal account because Dillian White has me blocked on the Boxing Voice. But you made a fantastic point. Dillian White fought AJ and didn't get the popularity. Dillian White has 374,000 Instagram followers. Tony Bellew, who I see UK dudes that obviously don't Google, saying that somehow Dillian White is bigger than Bellew. So, like I said earlier in the show, I'll say it now. Maybe this UK dude was working because it's the afternoon over there. He didn't get to jump on, and hear this. But find me the pay-per-view that Dillian White did that's 890,000 pay-per-view buys. And people like to say that. Like someone said on the show earlier, I think it was even Steve said like, oh yeah, he's got the 2 David Haye paydays. Dog, what about the unification? Because remember, he's such a smart businessman. He cuffed his WBC, moved up to heavyweight, fought Haye, came back down to his WBC and unified with Usyk. It was for undisputed. So like, I don't know. Like my man made options for himself. To say that Dillian White is bigger than him is retarded. I'm just sorry. Does Dillian White have a marquee win? Oscar Rivas? Which we're still waiting for Rivas to get on that scene. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, and shout out to Keem. I'm not making this argument alone. That's why this show is super important, because it's the voice of the people. Everyone has an opinion. He said in the chat that, you know, I'm banking on boxing being tribal, and I am. I'm absolutely banking on Mexicans going to back Andy. Why do you think I keep repeating the amount of Mexicans in America? Absolutely.
That's the history of the sport.
Absolutely banking on the freaking obvious. Absolutely banking. Listen, if Bob banks on him and De La Hoya banks on, why do you think De La Hoya signed JoJo? Out of all the 2012 crop, he didn't make sure he got Earl, but somehow he made sure to get JoJo. Is that some sort of, I don't know, mystery in itself? The only Latino not to get signed? Because he went with Oscar and all the other black fighters went with Al. Am I missing a Latino that went with Al? Because Pritchard Colon wasn't a 2012 Olympian. So
I mean, a couple of them went with Bob, but Bob still made sure that he got his in Jose Ramirez.
Was that 2012 crop though?
Yeah, that was 2012.
Okay, there you go.
Ness, did you get the IG post on the pre-pro that Tony Bellew put up? I didn't see this one. I don't know if you had seen it.
Yeah, that's old. Yeah, I was gonna screen share that. You're right, but I didn't. I can if you want. Yeah, he looks like John Ruiz.
It's funny as fuck.
This is kind of when it initiated.
That's what he was talking about, right?
Yeah,
about the mustache. Yeah,
this is kind of when it started, and then he was like, "Yo, give me that fight." And look, right now he went back on this. I'm pushing for this fight harder than he is, believe me. But that's because he hasn't really, thought about the business of it just yet. It's a big fight in the UK, and it's bigger than Dillian White. This guy is actually won. Dillian White is known in the UK because he's a badass. He's a dog, he'll go to war. But this guy is a hero. He's won. He's the underdog that achieved. First it was the WBC title from Makabu. That was huge for him. Huge.
Yep.
Then after that, he had the David Hay win, which the first one was Andy Ruiz style. Was it a fluke? Then he did it again. So let's stop trying to, belittle what it is he was able to accomplish. But
and here's the other thing real quick. I'm just going to make this real quick point because earlier, and I know you were, half kidding. I didn't take any offense to it, but earlier I said like, oh, I'm going to agree with Ness again, like people say or whatever. And then you said, no, you're agreeing with Mexicans because anything Mexicans do, you rock with. Okay, that's partly true. And I don't take any offense to that. But to me, the bigger aspect of it is the Mexican in a heavyweight division. That's a draw that we have not seen very much of. So I think that Mexicans will gravitate to that. I think that my, Abuela is going to look at him and think, oh, wow, look at this guy, and make her jokes and stuff like that. I think it just resonates a little more because we haven't seen it. Exactly. And because we've seen our light guys, we've seen our featherweights and our lightweights and our welterweights before, even middleweights, but we've never had that heavyweight. So that's a factor to me that I think that has such potential to be a star.
And don't forget that Bellew is a nutritionist who is now full-time helping certain fighters. And,
damn, I forgot. You're right.
He can easily get right back into shape. Look, 2 years off after the Usyk knockout is exactly what some fighters need. He's only 38, I believe. Foreman was 40. We're going to keep using history. But let's go to Stone Bone Box and talk to me.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What up?
Oh, man. Hey, look, I don't want the fight, but to say it ain't a good fight, look, he could probably get $3 million to go over there and fight Bellew, but a $4 million offer for Dillian White will look suspect now. Even $5 million. What if he go? I put in the Skype chat. I was going to say the snipe chat. I put in the Skype chat to Eddie Hearn's how he feel about Bellew when Usyk knocked him out and Eddie Hearn jumped up, tried to grab his head. I posted that video in the chat just so y'all see that. He probably will put up some money for that fight. And we can't be acting like just because guys is retired. Like right now, I'm picking Andre Ward to come out of retirement and beat a prime, considered top 3 pound for pound Canelo. And people been calling for that. People asking for that. People saying send offers for that.
Disrespectful right now.
But somehow, I'm just saying, like, you can be a retired person and come back and still be a fighter.
I want that fight too. I've been wanting that fight. I want that one. I want that one.
Yeah, you was talking that, but Ward ain't done, man. He making too much money. They finna make probably $100 million with Shakur in the next 10 years. They ain't got time. He ain't got time to jump in the ring, take no beating. But look, the money is gonna be.
I think they'll give him $100 million, man. I think they'll give him $100 million. Like, yo, listen, let me tell you, man. I'm a big dreamer, but you know, think about if James Prince went over to Dazn, straight to John Skipper to talk about this right here. And this is just me on fly because I love this sport. We do the same thing Ward's accustomed to, 3-fight deal, right? But we're going to do the same thing we did with Canelo, same thing we did with Triple G. We're going to give them TV time. What does that mean? Triple G Promotions gets his fighters on DAZN. Canelo gets his fighters on DAZN. Ward now has the ability to get his fighters on DAZN. Well, he doesn't have a lot of fighters, and that's cool. But options are always there for growth. You know what I mean? James Prince signs a lot of fighters. Just signed a few Olympians. You know what I mean? So yeah, it could work, and in that way you can write off the $100 million, right? Because I know they gave how much they gave Triple G. Whatever they gave Triple G, they better be willing to give Ward a little more, because Ward brings more. Not only is he American, he's well-speaking, undefeated. He was the last undisputed or unified. Like, he brings everything they need in a Canelo fight to bring subscribers to DAZN, in my opinion. So, yeah,
that's a super fight right there. And I think that Andre is really that guy that really has that chance to beat Canelo too, man. He's just so smart in the ring. That's a legend fight.
The issue, see, I pick Canelo if he gets him straight off this layoff. Like, no tune-up. But Ward is going to do what he did to fight Kovalev, which was 2-fight deal before the Kovalev, which, you know, ended up being 4 fights because of the rematch. But, you know, that's the smart way of doing it. But if I'm Canelo, I'm trying to get him straight out of camp. Go to fat camp, come see me for the promotion. That's it. Nothing in between. Ain't no tune-ups. We ain't even trying to leak the information to him so he can get in camp at 10 weeks. No. You get 8 weeks, champ. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like,
that's a big enough pay that
nah, it's Andre, not. It's not, because they floated it to Andre right after the Kovalev, and throughout the entire buildup of Kovalev, he keeps saying no, but that's because they ain't sat down with him and gave him that $100 million deal. Give him the 100. What, I don't know. How much did they give Triple G? Anybody knows? That's what we need to find out. Because I'm saying $100 million, but I think they gave Triple G like a 7-figure deal, which
it might have been like 10.
Who knows how 10? Much is it? You know? No. They gotta give Triple G way more than $10 million. You kidding me?
For Ward for going up for that one. No.
I don't. What I mean is give him the deal that DAZN gave Triple G. They gave him a really big deal that represented fights plus him being able to promote, dates to put his fighters. You know what I'm saying? So not just fights with Canelo and big paydays, but also the right to promote on DAZN with fights like De La Hoya's doing. You know what I mean? But let's get to J Mac, New Orleans.
You know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I'm a gorilla, I'm a dog. I'm a dog, I'm a gorilla.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from Terence.
You can't be the boogeyman if I'm chasing. You want to bet?
You bet 100,000 on that.
Let's bet $1 million.
Easy. Let's bet $1 million.
Yo.
Morning.
Yo. Morning, man. I was listening. Literally just woke up. I think y'all was talking about Andy Ruiz and who else?
Tony Bellew and Tony Bellew, going on and asking Eddie Hearn for that fight.
Man, I don't want to see that shit, man. I like the Ortiz and like the Dylan White. Tony Bellew now. Not interested in it. Not don't care for it. What's the other topic y'all was talking about?
That's it. We had Steve Cunningham on.
I didn't, man. I missed majority of the show. And when I called in, I was dozing in and out and stuff like that. And I woke up when I heard my name. To be honest, fuck, I ain't got nothing else, man. You can get my caller, Stonebone. My other caller, Stonebone.
Keem in Florida. What up? What up? What up?
El gran campeón puertorriqueño, this is Phoenix, Chico Trinidad.
You got any excuses tonight, Roy? Let's not ask questions like that. Let's touch gloves and go to work. Let's go to work.
Yo, what up, man? I'm just listening, Brian. Really got nothing on the topic, man. Good show, good interview.
All right, Keem. Well, thanks for calling in. Sid in Orlando.
What up? Everybody need to like the video. I feel like if Ruiz and Bellew was to fight, I'll watch it because it ain't shit else going on. And I think that if that fight was to happen and it goes to like about 12 or whatever, even if Ruiz won on the decision, that shit ain't gonna do nothing but boost Usyk profile because Usyk already took him out. So I feel like that's a little catch-22 on that. So if anything, Ruiz should press him for more money, but tell him to stop clout chasing his son because they're using Ruiz's name a lot nowadays. But shit, that's all I got, man.
Yeah, man, it's funny, man. I don't know how you could clout chase someone that ain't a star, or ain't popular according to Brandon. But Stone Bone with the boomerang.
What up? What up? Hey, listen. I don't want that fight, but everybody else getting tune-ups. Keith Thurman getting tune-ups. All he did just have a back-to-back big pay-per-view with the number one fighter in the game, the guy who was doing $60 million. I mean, he did just make $12 million. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to him saying, "Hey, come on, Bellew. What you got, Eddie? What, $3-4 million? Go over there, knock out Bellew. Eddie Hearn can pick him up out the ring like he was doing when Usyk knocked him out. And then what is the offer going to be for the Dillian White fight?" We always talk about these fighters taking these fights when they ain't ready and all this shit. And now when a guy is honest saying, like, man, let me get a fight and get myself together and then have that fight. We knock all these guys because they try to pick these dudes off when they coming off injuries, when they coming off retirement. They just trying to pick guys off. So let him fight somebody and then Dillian White, you get a real fight. And it's funny how he was talking about Dillian White was suspended while they was in the damn camp. See, that's the second time this dude done popped for steroids. And we keep acting like he's just some great champion, man. Look, he deserved everything he done had. All of the waiting, all of the failed tests. He brought it on himself. So Dillian White, if Andy make you wait and he knock out Bellew and get $3-4 million, he probably won't even fight you now for no $4-5 million. You might as well go back to the drawing table because Al Heyman will put him in there with some PBC guys and make him $2-3 million until he get that big fight with whoever is going to be Wilder, Kalnaki, or whoever, a FA, whoever it's going to be. So just realize he got a position of power. We laughed at him. He don't got no power, and he still got power, even to this day. So realize the fighter is calling the shots. And the fans, sometimes they might not do what we want, but it's okay, fan. You're a fan. You don't even like this fighter anyway, so why are you so mad who he about to fight? You been shitting on Ruiz for 2 months now. All right, what it meant 4 months since the fight. You've been shitting on him. So let him figure out what he needs to do. Let him get a tune-up fight, and then go after White. I'm out.
Yo, that's a great point, man. It's like everybody thinks it was a fluke. Brandon like, yo, this is a guy I never believed in. So then why everybody mad? Let him do him then. You know what I mean? Like, don't nobody get mad when James Toney or Roy get in there and go across the country to get beat up. Like, why everybody mad at Andy for having options now? Sony, talk to us.
Hey, good morning, TBV. What's good?
Good morning, champ.
Buenos dias.
Hey, yo. So the whole Andy Ruiz and Tony Bellew. I mean, I got nothing with the fight if Tony Bellew was still active. Now, Andy Ruiz can fight whoever he want to fight. I really don't care. My only problem about it is the fight is going to be so lackluster. You're going to get Tony Bellew in there. Andy Ruiz is going to shine. People going to say, oh, man, he's ready for fucking AJ again or what the fuck ever. My only thing is I don't like when fighters come out of retirement to fight because I don't think they come in with that same fire or that same gut in their belly. They only coming out because of the fanfare. Then they come out here and get mocked. And I love Andre Ward. But that shit y'all was just talking about with Andre Ward and Canelo, man, get the fuck out of here, bro. No. We was fucking hating on Andre Ward when he was fighting because we said all his fights was lackluster and they wasn't doing shit. And the only person that he made a fight with was Kovalev. And if we're all being honest, we even said his fights with Kovalev was not that entertaining. So how in the fuck are we going to say that he's going to come back and make an entertaining fight with Canelo? Bruh, get the fuck out of here. Shit ain't going to happen, bruh. Holla at y'all Friday. Peace out, TBV.
All right.
Strong stand on that right there.
Yeah, man. Well, look, man. I believe in tune-ups, man. It's a thing of the world. You know, Oscar Valdez has gotten plenty. You know, Frampton has gotten. Thurman has gotten. Danny has gotten. You know, it's just Pacquiao has gotten like. Everybody,
you know what
gets
we should ask though, Ness? We should put it out there, like, because I'm seeing that some people agree with it, some people don't. So it's like, what are the requirements for a fighter to, you know, stand for a tune-up? What's okay? When is it okay? Like, there's plenty of scenarios, right?
I like Stone Bones.
Long day off. You got maybe he got knocked out pretty bad. You know, he need a tune-up. I guess we're trying to find a reason for a tune-up.
Yo,
I like
can I say
Stone Bones stance, man. Like, if you don't like this fighter, why do you care? Like, look, I didn't watch that ESPN card. I don't know them fighters.
Right, but we know Andy Ruiz. Look,
but I'm gonna watch Andy
Bellew.
Ruiz. You know, I know them dudes.
Yeah, we do know them, and I get it, right? So anyway, I looked up tune-up, and it makes perfectly sense. But like for a car, to see how they break it down, and it's like a car tune-up is a type of preventative maintenance performed on a vehicle to ensure it continues to perform well. Exactly. The tune-up should also include cleaning and replacing the spark plugs, and on older cars, the distributor cap and router. So that Andy needs that tune-up. He got to get them spark plugs going, and he got to make sure he performs well, and that's why Eddie Reynoso is the mechanic behind the tune-up.
What you said in the beginning is perfect. Restart.
A car tune-up is a type of preventative maintenance performed on a vehicle to ensure it continues to perform well.
Right there. That's it. Bellew ensures that Andy will perform the way that he did on AJ. And because it takes more than one fight, it's Bellew, then Areola. Now, him and his coaches sat down with Al and said, I think we're ready. The same way that the same potential trainer has already said 2 more fights, and my guy in Ryan is ready for whoever you want. So let's let the course happen.
So what happens to the voice of the people that are saying, hey, maybe Kaz, I don't really like that mechanic that you offering to make this tune-up happen. Maybe that's not the right mechanic.
And that's fine. This is the voice of the people. Voice your opinion. You have the right to give your opinion. It doesn't make you right, and it doesn't make me right. I just feel because I'm going the business route, which is what boxing is, that's probably the right route.
It's like this, look, right? And for me, I'm going to watch the fight knowing what the ending result is, right? So, Nestor, you a movie guy. I don't know how much of a movie guy you all do me, but if you knew the ending of a movie and the synopsis, would you care to go watch it?
I do, because, listen, the trailers nowadays, you know they give you a lot. Right. Sometimes I watch a trailer, I'm like, damn, man, that was too much. But in boxing is different. The question is, how good can Andy look in the tune-up? You know, and then you know you got the wild card. What was it back in the day? We play spade. You got the spade in the back where it's like, yo, if he goes rounds, that's what Reynoso wanted him to do. You know, I'm with a new trainer. We wanted to go rounds. We want to work on things. You know what I mean? So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. You know what I mean? You go in there, you can knock him out more dangerously than Usyk, or you go in there and you say you're using them for rounds because that's what you need. Because you need to work and you need to sweat more because you want to look better and you want to be better. Come on,
You know
bro.
what? I'm looking at it.
Biggest
you know,
loser story always sells. Biggest loser. Brother, the fat guy always wins, bro. That story, America loves that.
Yeah, I'm hearing you speak, and I'm starting to think more like, Andy Ruiz Jr., if he were to take this fight, he could take a lot more risk in implementing the, not new style, but the new tools that Eddie Reynoso might throw in there for him. I see Andy taking a couple more risks in order to like really get those rounds, like you're saying, and be able to get loose for a more competitive fight after. Yeah.
Dude, you might listen. The perfect thing is Bellew can't knock you out, so you can get those rounds, then get a late stoppage, but get the rounds. And not have to worry about the danger. You and Reynoso could work on things. Let me go to counterpunch from Sony. Fuck, why I'm always calling you Sonny. Sony Wood, what up?
Yo, hey, before y'all get too far away from my phone call, I'm not saying that I like both fighters. I like every fighter that y'all talk about. Andre Ward and motherfucking Tony Bellew. My only point about it is these dudes are retired fighters, so them coming out of retirement to fight any one of those two guys y'all was just mentioning is just like them having a strong sparring fighter in the ring during training camp. It does not make sense. So how are they actually being tuned up? They're not being tuned up. It's just a fucking glorified sparring fighter. That's all I'm saying.
90 seconds. Nah. I get you, though. I get you. I mean, you still got 5, 4. You still good? Oh, he dropped off. Look, I get you, though. But nah. Listen, even a Ward out of retirement, you got to be on your A game. It's boxing. You heard what Steve said. You don't underestimate anyone. That's what happened to Tyson Fury, and he got dropped by Steve. Steve is telling you that. He's telling you that. He's not saying he's better than Wilder. He's saying they underestimated me. I showed him some 60 seconds.
I can go with Ward on that. Ward is definitely like it's what he's shown to, and his style of fighting that'll give me the inclination to lean more towards Ward as being that threat right off of coming back, even though he retired. Bellew, though, on the other hand, kind of worries me because
no fighters' mentality do me. Both of them have been world champions and competed on the world level. See, people want to dismiss Bellew, but not a lot of people can say they competed on the world level. So, nah. But I think that's every. Oh no, we actually got a bunch of boomerangs jumped in. We're going out to Trey in the Bay. What up? Trey in the Bay.
What up, Ness?
What up?
What up, Dummy? Cass?
What up?
Hey, man. Yeah, your man Andy Ruiz definitely need a tune-up, man. Have you seen him on Instagram working himself out? He need to hurry up and get Reynoso on the phone. He look pathetic, man.
I seen him sweating heavy. He was doing the ladder and the lime green bars that you gotta like raise your feet over the metal bar. He was sweating a lot, but I mean that could be because he's overweight. I get you. But look, he's doing something. He's working. Some.
Yeah, man. My background about to get loud. So look. My background about to get loud, so yeah, I just think he does need to tune up, and he needs to hurry up and get a fucking trainer and get back in the game, man. I feel like he's slacking on his macking, but go ahead and get my boomerang to Stonebone.
All right, damn, Stonebone, you to see, and they talking about Brandon Call of the Year. Nobody ever gave Brandon a boomerang. Just saying, FYI, a little fun fact. For everybody when it's time to vote.
Campaign.
No, I'm just saying when it's time to vote, remember that little fun fact. You know how politicians do. They be like, yo, I went to the army. I actually fought for this country.
This has been sponsored by Ness.
No, but Don't politicians do that? Like, I went to the army. I actually fought for this country, unlike Alex Lyonez.
Political ads and shit.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, like the people have actually donated boomerangs to this man. On this particular call, we're gonna hear him 3 times because of the talent.
Guru.
You know? Easily call of the year. Remember that, ladies and gents. Easily.
Brandon with the yawny emojis.
Getty, Harlem, what up?
Good morning.
Morning.
Yo, man, I actually got to catch the playback nest. But to the message to the people, man, I'm definitely looking forward for this Friday, man. Tune in this Friday, freestyles, man. We pulling up with them bars, them hard hitters, man. So definitely tune in this Friday. You know, and if you ain't on Patreon, you already know what my man Stainless would say. You know, other than that, man, y'all stay blessed, and I'm going to see y'all on tonight's call.
All right. We got Info Joe in California.
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my brother.
Yo. Good morning, my boxing brothers. What's up?
What up, champ?
Buenos dias. Got that energy.
That's right. Got that Cali sun going right in my eye right now. We moving. Hey, shout out to you, Kaz. You said some hardcore shit. I hear you, Ness, man. You speaking. That's your shit, man. You coming from a marketing promotional viewpoint. But as a hardcore, it's an all right fight. I'll watch it because I'm a boxing fan. But I don't think they're going to hate me in the UK for this, man. I don't think Dillian White is all that where he need a tune-up before he fights that dude, man. They both come in fat and overweight and out of shape. I think it's an even fight. They both at the same caliber, if anything. And I don't see what all the hoopla about Dillian White, man. I know y'all gonna throw darts at me from the UK, man. But the dude is always out of shape, like Ruiz. What's the fucking big deal? Yo, and shout out to Steve Cunningham. He's a class act. And what else did I have? Hey, I'm going to start back posting in the Wednesday workout, man. I bust out my 150 push-ups, 100 dips, 100 squats, and some sit-ups, man. This is the 51-year-old Info Joe. I'm inspiring all you youngsters. Get your shit together.
Shape, man. Fuck,
I'm
man,
getting
you said
ready,
150
y'all.
push-ups.
Yeah.
Spot, man.
Yeah, I ain't fucking around, man. Come on, Doomsday. Start posting some shit, though. But that's my point, man. He ain't all that, man. I watched the fight, though, but I think he can take Dillian White right now, as is. A one training camp with Reynoso. I think he'll be ready. Shout out to, man, much love above to Stone Bone, man. But I got Brandon. Call of the year. I'm campaigning. What's up?
Damn, Info, you're gonna have to be the campaign
Who he want?
leader in this.
Who he campaigning for, himself or Stonebone?
Brandon, he campaigning for Brandon.
Oh, Brandon? All right.
Yeah, you got on the
That's my
campaign
call
trail.
of the
Brandon,
year,
you
man.
gotta have Info Joe, man.
Looks like we lost you, man. As soon as you said Brandon, looked like your service cut out, B. Izzy in Oklahoma.
Hey, shout out Info. I'll be back at you on the Wednesday workout. And hey, Naz, I just hopped over from YouTube. Give my call to Brandon. Call of the year.
Oh, snap. He got a team.
I mean, you know, he means just call like his vote for Call of the Year. But you got to be a boomerang to give up a call. But, I mean, I get you. You know, somebody got to speak up for Brandon with Stonebone getting all the love over here. You know how it goes, man. We going out to JT.
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. You know, we're doing live TV. Yeah, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
Why do you have to talk like that? Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
Yeah, what's up, Mom, man?
What up?
Hey, so the topic, I'm just getting up. The topic is about Andy Ruiz versus Dillian White.
Nah, Tony Bellew.
Andy Ruiz versus Tony Bellew.
Yep.
That sounds like a good fight. I don't know the last time Tony Bellew fought though,
I think it was 2017 or 18. 2018, I believe. Lost to Usyk by knockout.
huh? Usyk?
Usyk, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But
the
he,
one.
but he
The
got
one.
the two David Hay wins at heavyweight though.
Yeah. Hey man, listen. Your boy might need a tune up before he fight Andy Ruiz, but I mean Andy Ruiz shouldn't need no tune up. He just need a good training camp. I don't know what he going with Eddie Reynoso, Canelo coach.
They haven't made it official yet, but that's the thing, guys. Like, why wouldn't you take a not a dangerous fight, like not a high level fight, if you just get in with a trainer? You gotta mesh with him. You gotta see how y'all do. You gotta see how he do in the corner in the real fight, not just in the gym. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't go into it, man.
Well, that's all I got. And that's shout out to y'all.
All
Keep
right.
doing y'all thing. All right.
Yeah, man. I don't know why people want that like that. Like, I wouldn't jump into nothing like that. Like, if I'm Andy, I'm already. See, you guys are not thinking of these fighters as franchises, man, and that's understandable because not everyone is one. But once you become one, you have to think like that. You have to. You know what I mean? You're putting your brand at risk, and without
So
that
that
brand,
I'm seeing it now. Then I guess as your stock rises, you're taking less risks. As you're coming up to get to that point, you're taking all the risks. So
Well,
I get it. I
Well,
get it.
no, not necessarily. Because again, I give you the Andre Ward example. It's like, you want me in the dangerous fight? Okay, let me be 100%. I need a tune-up. Matter of fact, I need two. Then I will fight your dangerous fight. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's so many. Listen, in the heavyweight division, let me see here. Usyk. I'm gonna click on Usyk. Get to me the heavyweights even quicker.
Yo,
Usyk.
Usyk, it's crazy what how Steve said that Usyk could probably outbox Wilder.
I mean, a lot of
That
people have been saying that, and they're gonna say that now, especially with the loss. You know how it is.
that's what I'm saying. I wonder if the same would have been said before that loss, man, because I feel like a lot of people just kind of fell off in the belief.
Well, a lot of people wanted to believe too, and they didn't have the. They needed this win. He needed this win too. But listen, we were talking about heavyweight, and I needed to go here. What was I looking for? Jesus Christ! This is what happens when I don't cut y'all off.
Looking for the a heavyweight. I know that's what you were looking for. A heavyweight, a certain heavyweight.
Well, Stone Bone Boxing, what up with that third boomerang here from Trey that gave it to you this time, right?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Mac and Trey. Hey, look, who Ness? What was Dillian White last fight?
Oscar Rivas and then Maurice Vaught.
So Vok wasn't a tune-up, right?
Of course he was a tune-up. And they said it was a tune. And they said it was a tune-up. He said, yo, I got to fight someone like this because I was stressed out. I gained weight. Everything that Andy is.
Oh, my God. Oh, so now he deserved a fucking tune-up. His fight was against Oscar Rivas, not against the undisputed or the unified heavyweight champion that Ruiz beat and then he lost to. He fought Rivas where he tested positive for illegal substance, got knocked down, and then fought Wack. The WBC and all of the sanctioning body has waived all of the drug testing right now. So you don't think Dillian White, who has been popped twice, and they have been given free, saying, hey, y'all ain't going to be tested, he probably taking some. So if I was Andy, I'm not going to fall on my sword to help Dillian White keep running around talking about, I deserve a title shot. See, I beat everybody that you beat. No, we ain't finna play that game, Dillian. Get him in the ring when he at his best, or go fight when you had your opportunity to fight Luis Ortiz, or he could even fought Dominic Brazil to fight Wilder. So I'm not feeling no type of way for him not getting what he think he deserved. And that $4 million, they can might as well just flush that down the toilet. Just go on and flush it, Dillian, because you done put it out there to the world. It was $5 million. Now the next offer, that the first starting offer needs to be $6 million for this fat guy that you say you're gonna beat. And everybody, look, we don't have to be taking it personal about his decision. This is boxing. All these guys is getting tune-ups. We seen Danny fight Red Cap,
and
even
Granados.
You know what I mean? Like, but Granados,
and fucking Rod Salka.
Keith Thurman, he's had two. Bud done had some. Everybody done had tune-ups. When you ain't been active, it's COVID, bruh. We might not even have a fucking fight until a real fight until July, August. So all these guys gonna need something.
And Andy already out the ring 5 months.
If not, we about to see a lot of dudes who've been partying and laying in pussy about to get beat coming off COVID if they don't take these fights serious or if they don't take a fight that can get them back in fight shape. Like they say, the difference being
It's already 5 months out of the ring for Andy, which obviously is like half a year, you know. So, listen, man. But again, you see, this is why he's called of the year. Amazing point. Dillian Whyte fights an undefeated fighter, not a world champion, not a unified champion, not a 4-belt holder, just an undefeated fighter. That biggest win at the time was coming from behind, which means losing to Brian Jennings, then knocking him out late. That was Rivas's biggest achievement. He knocked down Dillian Whyte, and there was some controversy in that fight, and he felt he needed a tune-up because of the stress and because he gained weight, because he was unsure of his career. And we, even as Americans, said, yeah, you know, it's cool. I understand. You know, his life was in the balance. He didn't know what was going to happen. I understand. But here is Andy, right? How bad is Andy getting it? How many people are on social media daily calling him a fat ass, saying that, you know, you ain't shit. You could have won. You could have been this. You could have been that. You ain't shit. Look at what you did. You ain't shit. You eating. You fat. Snickers. You ain't shit. Right? So Andy don't deserve it? Andy don't deserve it? He don't deserve a tune-up? He don't deserve a confidence booster? Dillian Whyte does, who tested positive, who kept the B sample hush-hush, who had a meeting in the dark with UCAD that no one knew about the day of the fight, that they didn't even tell their opponent. Like, come on, bro. Like, you guys
I mean,
are
you
so
know
unfair.
what? You know, you spinning it in a way that gets me to think about Tyson Fury too. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was fat, out of shape, and you know he had a plethora of other problems. But like,
he got two tune-ups. We gave him two. Nobody got mad at Safada.
And he was self-induced. You know, he self-induced all that shit on himself, and Andy self-induced all that shit on him. Like, I think that we got to give more credit to the psychological comeback that he needs as well. You know what I'm saying,
brother?
And
if you are a trainer and you are an aspiring trainer, how are you going to take Andy Ruiz, who is an elite level fighter, who obviously still has a big fight on his resume if you got him right, and throw him in a big fight like your first time training him?
Yeah, it's the Andy. Andy's the type of guy, though, man, that a lot of people feel too, man. That's that he can hit the ground running because he's pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question.
Was a self-induced overweight binge on his success. So it's like people are looking at it like, come on, you know you could go to Reynoso. If you really listen, hunker down, and stop the mierda, you'll hit the ground running.
Cash. Who do you think made more money in their purses? Is you on mute? You on a phone call? All right. Alex, who do you think made more money in their purses? Dominic Brazil or Andy Ruiz? Remember, Dominic Brazil fought AJ and Wilder.
Yeah, nah, bro. Andy made more guap. Made more guap. I mean, I wouldn't go with Brazil because Brazil was basically stopped in a fashion that, like, he didn't benefit from it. He got laced.
So let me ask you a question. So if you're Dominic Brazil, when you got with Virgil Hunter, could you afford to say, Virg, you know what, we're going to pass on this Wilder fight?
Nah, can't afford that. I gotta take it. I'm trying to be active. I'm trying to stay in the face of boxing and not be forgotten.
But if you're Andy and you got, I count a 12-car garage, Los Angeles mansion, or excuse me, should I say California mansion or San Diego mansion? You know,
Nah, it's South SoCal.
Do I need to run into a fight? Am I hurting? Because
he ain't hurting.
Last I checked, I can count that Andy's doing sponsored posts, so he's making money outside of boxing. People could say whatever they want. He's making money outside of boxing. Dank City is following him around because they're sponsoring him. You know, he's already said on interviews, I didn't pay for this chain. That was sponsored. Who knows what else this man is getting? So again, who's hurting? Who could take time to go chill with Reynoso? Like, Andy don't gotta fight, dog. Y'all want Andy to fight. The offers are coming at Andy's feet. He got options. Andy could go for the rest of the year and just train with Reynoso and say they coming back 2021. They want to hunker down 6 months. We want to just work. I just want to work. Let me just see you, Andy. Let's just work together. Let's do that. Forget about fights. You need money? He don't need money. Well, let's go. Let's work. Come on, man. What's the rush? How old is Andy? I got to look him up now. Number 6 on BoxRec. Number 5 on the WBC.
He's 30. He was born in 89, so
30 years old. Oh, AJ is what? How old is AJ? 30 years old. 30 years old. So what's the rush? How old is Dillian White? 32 years old. How old is Tyson Fury? 31. So what's the rush? Ain't no rush. I'm going to get with Reynoso. We going to come up with a plan. We going to lose some weight. We going to get back to being the best that we can be, and we going to make real money. Because I could run and get this $4 million, $5 million right now. Or I could do Ness's plan, fight Tony Bellew, pick up that bag, fight Areola, build my profile more, all Mexican affair, and then I'm ready for pay-per-view.
But the tune-up again, going back to how the people feel, and not just the people, but like as a coach, if I'm working on things with Andy, and you know, the goal all the time is to get those belts. So it's like, and you know, Andy's a smaller guy, so it's like it's got to be a good tune-up too. You feel me? It's got to be a tune-up where I can tell my fighter to try these new tools and new things that we might have implemented in order for him to get ready for the one after, which could be a white or a big fight where it's gonna matter a lot more. So it's like Bellew is like a fantasy fight. Yeah, it can do this, it can do that for the sport of boxing, but technically, like, what is it doing for my fighter in preparation?
I mean, Bellew brings speed. Bellew brings speed. He's going to be bringing combination punching.
But Andy's already the faster guy for a lot of these heavyweights, bro. So it's like you got to give me a tune-up where you're going to make me a believer in where he's going, his trajectory. And I'm telling you from a coach's perspective, you feel me? That's the way I would, want my fighter to be pushed. But you said money talks and bullshit walks, and it could be a great fight. But I just, I just see it more on the fantasy side, champ, because you got to see where is Andy's head and the coach's camp head, and where they want to go with this. You got to have a tune-up that's going to prepare you for something else.
Listen, man.
You don't just get just a tune-up.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
Dude, are you telling me, like, you sound, like an overthinker? Because show me what did let's see, tune up. What was Lopez for Thurman? How did that prepare him for Pacquiao, who was next? There was no preparation, and don't even try to answer it. They're totally different. They're never gonna be ever compared in the same sentence at all. The only comparison you can draw from Josecito Lopez and Pacquiao is that Lopez was on the big stage when he fought Canelo. Other than that, there's no comparison at all. None. Not from a trainer aspect, business, technical, nothing. Nothing.
So you're trying to make an argument.
I'm not done. So my argument, since you want to cut me off, my argument is tune-ups aren't an indication of what's next, like you're trying to lie to the people. Or sway the people.
You gotta tone it down with lying to the people, because it's a valid point.
Get them to believe your argument.
valid points that coaches have to look at. See, you want to bring up what preparation was Josecito Lopez for Thurman for Pacquiao. I don't know what was going on in my man's head. What's the coach's name again? I forget, man. A fucking
Freddie Roach.
Oh no. Thurman's
Dan Birmingham.
Dan Birmingham. There you go. So I don't know what was going on in their camp and seeing if Josecito Lopez was a preparation fight for that. I'm not aware of any of that. You know what I'm saying? Those are decisions that are made in camp. So,
but you're not aware of it. But you're able to say that Bellew isn't a good tune-up. But you wasn't in the Thurman camp either.
Well, the reason I'm saying Bellew is not a good tune-up Ness is because I'm looking at the heavyweight division and how big those guys are, what they present, what problems they pose. I mean, I'm not saying that your point isn't valid.
It's very valid because it already happened, so you can do it in retrospect and say, well, damn, let me beat Dan. Let's try and figure out what Josecito represented, and you'll see that it represents nothing. A tune-up is a tune-up. It don't have to represent what the next fight is.
That's specific. That's specific, Ness. You can't put that in the generalization.
Let's do another tune-up. Let's do another tune-up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What was going on in that camp? You know, injuries, pre-existing injuries involved, everything involved. What were they thinking in that camp? I cannot speak for that. What I can speak of is for the future because that's something that's still not happened. So if Andy's going, to fight these bigger guys, what does Tony Bellew do as a tune-up? It doesn't do much. Because you're not facing small guys in the heavyweight division. You're not facing guys that are old and on their way out coming back to it. It's just not. It's not specific to what I would see for Andy. And again, these are made inside the camp. Business of boxing, great. Money, all that good stuff, great. But sometimes you got to ask yourself, does this really make sense?
Bruh, Josecito was taller, longer, and not a southpaw. The fucking tune-up isn't an indication of what's next.
Why do you keep going specifically to Thurman and Josecito? I mean, it's not a great example for you to generalize.
Okay. Ugas wasn't a mandatory. He didn't prepare, Porter for Earl.
He didn't
prepare Earl. He didn't prepare Porter for Earl. No. How? Why? Tell me.
Again, remember, these are specific trajectories according to whatever fighters have in their agenda.
What?
How you're telling me is that you're not understanding, I think, what the point that I'm trying to make, and you're trying to argue something that I don't think you understand. Look, you're telling me now that what preparation did Ugas give Porter, right?
Let me get to this counterpunch, bro. Brandon in Cincinnati, talk to us.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I'm outside against some fresh air. As far as this color of the year shit, man, I just want to say, man, check the archives. I got legendary calls, legendary picks on this show. Don't forget, I'm the one who picked Harrison to beat Charlo the first time. I picked J-Rock to beat Hurd when all you motherfuckers was picking Hurd. I picked AJ to win the rematch when all y'all was on the fat bandwagon. Just check the archives. That's why I'm caller of the year. I picked. I told Jamaal to move up to 168 a year before you called it, and then you took my glory by trying to steal my shine. I got the proof in the chat, buddy. That's why I'm caller of the year. But I just want to say to my brother Stonebone, man, don't let Ness infiltrate this family, bro. Don't forget that nigga's the op. That nigga's the ops, bro. I never go against my 5-star General Stonebone.
Divide and conquer.
Hey, man, you can say whatever you want, man. Stonebone just realizes, the truth. Look, you might be right about your picks. That doesn't mean that Stonebone didn't make those same picks. That's the difference. Like, as far as what is it? You're saying Benavidez and Charlo? So you want to take credit for something that you said, allegedly, and don't want me to take credit for something that I started. Who put that in the air? Who interviewed Benavidez? Who interviewed the father of Benavidez? Who interviewed Anthony Durrell? Who interviewed Jamaal Charlo, who I interviewed Anthony Durrell because he faced Benavidez. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you want to take credit? Cool. I mean,
He said he picked Tony Harrison to win. You know what I'm
I mean
saying?
that's a cool pick. That's a cool pick and all, but you know, I got that ball rolling. You know what I mean? On the Benavidez. I don't know, you know. Everybody says shit at the water cooler. It's like what you go do. You know what I'm saying? It's like you what laws have you gotten passed? Like, if this fight happened, it ain't happened because of you. Like, you could say that and like fake cool about it in your head, but we all know the one that was on the ground doing the work was me. So I give you whatever credit you want, yo. You know, but you know what's really going on. Who's next? Landlord, what up? Landlord. Did he drop off that quick? He sure did. All right, so that means Intrigue. Damn, I never went to Intrigue. Oh, and my Gene Bez there. Intrigue, what up? Oh, damn, Intrigue get an intro. I forgot. This, you know, that's the thing. You don't even know who Intrigue is, man. You forget about all that shit.
Hell no, he mad because I get the better fights. He mad because they still like me more. He mad because I got better numbers. He mad because he can't beat Keith Thurman. That's why he mad. Hell no.
So once when I get on that stage and I come at you, better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son. I'm telling you.
What's good? Yeah, I got a couple. I got a couple points, man. I get through it real quick. Andy Smandy, man. Any good fight is good for Andy. I don't care. You know what I mean? For all I care, Andy can go shopping at the same store Bud get his opponents for, get his trash cans from. They can go at the same store, get them same trash cans. I don't care. I ain't putting no more energy to Andy. Number two, I never thought in my life I agree with Stonebone. He said everybody's getting tuned up. Tweety Bud's whole career welterweight has been a glorified tune-up. So I agree with him. Let that man get a tune-up if he want one. Number three, for all my TBV listeners, you know, I'm starting my grassroots campaign today against ducking in public and private. It's called #NoSmokeMario. So support me. You know what I mean? If you
is
all against
Mario
ducking.
ducking? What is Mario ducking? Oh, okay.
Intrigue's battle.
He said that after that, you know, that stainless rematch, he
don't want to battle Intrigue because he's saying he ain't up to par yet. He ain't even in ranking.
But Intrigue raps?
I think so. I think he got bars. I think
okay.
that's what the
hold
story
on.
is.
So your answer is you think so. So that means you ain't heard him. How about you?
He spit bars the other day.
Once
let me hear one bar. Recite it back.
Hey yo, I'm intrigued, and when I
I don't
through,
remember it.
Do you remember?
It was a surprise bar. It just came in. He just
I bet you. We all remember a Mario punchline.
But yeah, because Mario's memorable.
Because Mario's memorable, and he said my double barrel Jamaal. Huh? Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We remember that. Intrigue need to be remembered. Like
I remember Intrigue said that's all I got because I just wrote that.
I remember Intrigue is Dillian White calling out Andy Ruiz Mario. Stop it. Get your own shit. Clout chasing. Spit something. How you saying Mario ducking you? You ain't spit nothing.
You better clubber Lang Mario now.
Listen to what he's doing. He's like, nah, I'm going to remain 0-0. I'm not going to fight until y'all give me a Mario shot, so it's okay if I lose. Man, get out of here, champ. Get out of here. That ain't how it work. Work your way up the rankings, Papa. We going out to my Gene bed. Talk to us.
Good morning. Just listening, guys.
All right. Well, on that note, there's nothing else to listen to, champ. You are the last dragon. You are the last dragon.
Damn. He brought it back.
Yo, Leroy. Listen. Bruce Leroy is like my all-time favorite. Look, we join us at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing Untitled. If you haven't already dropped your topic on Untitled, go find it in patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Do want to report. Where are we at? Where's my sad horn? Here it goes. Do want to report we lost a Patreon. We're at 309 instead of 310, but it's all right. We still moving. We going to get up there. Slow grind. Who's next? Who next?
You can catch me on IG, Alex_Doomsday_LAINEZ, and on Twitter, AlexLinusTBV. Come check us out for Untitled. We got a whole bunch of different type of topics. You get to let loose with the crew, get to know us, we get to know you, and we speak about, everything that's trending and everything that's not, everything in between and everything that's hot. So let's get it.
I am TBV_casual fan on Twitter, as well as my YouTube channel. My Patreon page is patreon.com/boxing fan apparel. My website is boxingfanapparel.com. Go on there and click on 2 for $30, 1 for $20 tab. And, I'm going to load up some shirts and maybe we could do some business. Peace. Final thoughts, Bellew? Bellew, you.
Bellew? Bellew. You made him. That sound more French when you said that.
Yeah. Pepe Le Pew.
Oh, here go my untitled topic. Talking about, yo, put your untitled topic. This my untitled topic, man. Y'all just be not paying attention right there, man.
What's your title?
I put it back in the chat. Know what I'm saying?
Shit, dynamic.
Oh, the robots.
Yo, damn, man.
Yo, that robot freaked me out.
Yo, bruh, this Patreon only for Untitled.
My bad. That shit, what the That's where we're going?
That's where we're going.
Mine, I'm gonna
where
put
we're going. We don't.
I'm not gonna
need
say
roads.
it, but I'm gonna put it in the chat. This was mine, and this is actually what been getting me through.
Yo, I'm out, man. My stomach is in my back right now. I'm starving like Marvin.
Word.
Peace.
Bendición.